Hello.
He's not that good of a solo unit. What is up, everybody? So, a little late today, but I was doing manual labor, so, you know. Anyway, they buffed William Tell, which I think we all saw that coming. I would have been truly surprised if William Tell did not get one of the buffs. But yeah, William Tell got buffed, and Booty Lancer got buffed. So I've seen a lot of people acting like William Tell's buff is just like god tier. It absolutely isn't. So what they did, one, they lowered his cooldown on his second skill, which is nice. But on his art up, Arcana 7, thank you for the 18 months. You're interrupting me though, but thank you, I appreciate it. I kid. Anyway, they lowered the cooldown by 1, which is honestly, I think, the best part of the buff, because it's a lower enough cooldown that it can actually matter. But what they did is he basically, like, if the enemy is dodging, he starts tracking them, which will allow him to do his bonus damage on his NP, even if they don't have evade. But they have to have had evade when he debuffed them for that to happen. And then he also puts another debuff on them, where if they do evade within the next few turns, he'll start tracking them. So there is still absolutely no way for him to do bonus damage unless the enemy evades. It's just now he can potentially do the bonus damage like the turn after the evade and things like that. So it's more flexible. Now, that is not a bad thing. That is a good thing, but it doesn't even fix the original problem. It just makes the original problem less of an issue. And then he's still pretty worthless if the enemy doesn't have evade. Now, I have to address this because over the years, and this happened very recently again, and this actually blows my mind. I'll like say something off the cuff on my stream, and then people on like Reddit or Discord or whatever will like overanalyze what I said in like 3 seconds, and they'll just sit there talking about it forever and like overanalyze it, and it actually gets really stupid. But that aside, every fucking time I talk about William Tell, for some reason, there's all these fuckers like defending William Tell and acting like he's just this sleeper awesome unit that everyone just can't see. And yet everyone that says that doesn't use William Tell. They never do nothing. No one ever does anything with William Tell that's impressive, right? So there's just consistently people being like, oh, he's not that bad. People are exaggerating. You just, you know, they're like trying to show off how knowledgeable they are by saying William Tell's like decent or something. And then they don't have anything to show for it. And what I always see, it's always stuff like this. They're like, but he's got debuff immunity. That's really rare for low stars. That's really good. Okay, now debuff immunity is really good, but it's not good on William Tell. And let me explain why. Let's use Fluffy as an example, because Fluffy is an extremely relevant boss where you'd want a damage dealer. So there's William Tell. Art is favored, so William Tell is more favored than normal because of Castoria. And then it's very debuff oriented. William Tell is trash there. Like, why the debuff immunity does not matter. It'll only matter if you're carrying William Tell with like double Castoria and crazy strong supports like that. It's irrelevant. And here's why. Okay, William Tell's not getting the HP drain and all that nonsense for a few turns. Who cares? He sucks. Great, now you have a damage dealer on your team that has no survivability and is still just gonna die to Fluffy's normal attacks unless you sacrifice a lot to save him. And he's still doing pretty crap damage. The fuck do I care if this unit has debuff immunity? Right, if you could give it to somebody else, then great. Or if you made if it was team-wide, it'd be great. But he's not a good enough of a unit for it to matter. And it's actually really weird to me that every time people talk about William Tell, they bring up his debuff immunity like some trump card that they've been keeping secret. Like, oh, but he's got debuff. Like, name me a fight that's ever mattered, right? Like, you need to, the unit has to be good for the debuff immunity to matter, right? Because it's not like he's a support, right? He's not a support that can avoid getting skills sealed or whatever to then get his skills off when you need them. He doesn't do that. Right, like there's no reason for him to be on the team against Fluffy, right? Like yeah, he does get debuffed, but then he's just wasting a slot. So you shouldn't bring him, right? And that's kind of where he always is. Like I've used William Tell a lot because I like William Tell. I actually liked the story and all that before like FGO even existed. And I like the design and stuff, so I would like William Tell to be good. He just isn't. Like, he's got an unupgraded art in P with a baby art up. Wow. Like, yeah, that's good. And then no hard survival. And like, yeah, he can make some stars, but he doesn't hit very hard with his normal attacks because he's a 3-star with a meh attack stat. Like, it's just, there's nothing there. Anyway, so with his buff though, if the enemy has evade, he is a bit better, and if they don't have evade, he's exactly the same. Nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. And so a big problem William Tell has always had is still here, but the buff helped it a little bit. So this is a huge problem for William Tell, by the way. This is one of the many reasons he's just not that good. And if anything, I think it's more of people don't realize how bad he actually is. And I bet you like Dachi or someone could attest to this. So most enemies in FGO, if they have evade, which they might not, most enemies don't. Most enemies either have no survivability, or it's invulnerability, or defense up, or guts, right? They don't always have evade. But if the enemy has evade, they are normally scripted to only use it at very specific health thresholds, right? Anyone that's like a real expert of FGO knows exactly what I'm talking about. There are some enemies that aren't like that and will just cast it completely randomly. But most enemies are scripted to cast their evade at a very specific time. And a lot of the times, you don't even let them do it. Let's say they're scripted to do it at 50% HP or 30% HP. And you end up taking them from like 40% to 0. So they skip the threshold, right? This is very common, right? This is a very, very common thing you do against bosses, is you skip over the threshold where they would evade. And now here's the thing. Even if you hit that health threshold where they will use the evade. So let's say the boss is at 30% and the boss evades. Okay, because the boss is at 30% of this health bar, right? You could probably break that health bar with just Billy the Kid. Because Billy the Kid has sure hit. He doesn't get bonus damage if they're evading, but the boss only has 30% health, so you don't need it, right? And this basically makes William Tell useless, by the way. Now with this buff, that is still a problem. That's still gonna like eat into William Tell's value, but it's not as bad because now you can have William Tell break like Billy could break or whatever, and then he'll activate that debuff, which will continue him to get the bonus damage on his NP. So then if you've got Waver or Castoria, or you maybe got Mozart and you art crit and then you're able to loop, and then you NP again, you still get the bonus damage, even though on the new health bar, the enemy doesn't have evade, okay? So that is good. That is a strict upgrade, right? And that's a peak value upgrade, not just a consistency thing, but it is only an upgrade if the enemy is evading and you got them to evade. Because it still sucks, because a lot of times you have to hold back and to get the enemy to evade, right? Because you were capable of taking the enemy from like 60% HP to 0 or like 55% to 0 or whatever, and they never got to evade in the first place, right? Like, this is an undeniable, and like from the few people that use William Tell a lot, I know they know what I'm talking about, right? It can get very awkward to actually get William Tell to get his bonus damage and have it be practical, because like a lot of times you would have broken with just Robin Hood or whatever. And another problem with William Tell also is just the fact that David has sure hit, Billy the Kid has sure hit, Robin Hood has sure hit, right? So it's not enough that he counters evade, right? You need to counter evade and then actually need the bonus damage. Like, and that doesn't happen as much as you would think. Obviously, though, we will show this off with the Lobo fight, because that because of the gimmick there, that is a decent time for William Tell. Does anyone have a Grailed one? Because mine is just level 70, and I would like to use a Grailed one if we could. See some big boy numbers, but we'll see what people got. If Dechi is here, he's I know he's got a big one. Any William Tell enjoyers in the crowd today? Because although I'm saying he's not that great, because he isn't, he's very niche. I do like him a lot. I really do. I have a 91. Okay, that's decent. And legit, if the enemy is like Lobo now, he's pretty good. Although here's the problem. If the enemy's Lobo, you're not counterclassing, right? So you really still need them to be evading and to be a Saber or a Berserker. And then the evade needs to be not at low HP, and you need the bonus damage and so on. And so, like, it's a lot of stuff that has to line up for him to really get value. And why it matters is because he's not like... Because here's the thing, right? With let's take Taiga, who just got buffed, and it was kind of an underwhelming buff. Taiga is not like some god tier unit, but Taiga at least has the basics of what you need. That way, if you like Taiga and you want to use her all the time, it's not going to be too big of an issue, because she does have a survival skill. She does have damage up stuff, right? And if you like using Buster, you can use Merlin and those kinds of things. With William Tell, there are some, if you're trying to use him really frequently, there are some pretty big hangups, because he doesn't have an evade, right? And he's not compensating with that for anything other than the anti-evade thing and whatnot. And what I've actually said in the past is what I wanted them to do with William Tell is kind of turn him into a pseudo support, because he does have a little bit of support right now. But if you gave him like team-wide debuff immunity and things like that, that's actually, I think, that's a great way to fit him into the game, where it's like, okay, there's a Saber enemy and they may not have evade or anything, but I can use him as a backup damage dealer, and he's going to help the team out with a bunch of utility stuff. I really think that's a good way to fix him. And if you look at his lore and his like lore toolkit and stuff, he's about planning and traps and that kind of like Robin Hood and stuff. So you can work utility in that way. I think that's a great way to fix him. If the enemy is an assassin and they have evade, he could be all right, but he's not going to be as good as like Babbage or Kastaku generally, unless they're really spamming evade, right? Like if they're really going ham with the evade, counterclassing is just going to be better. There's an okay amount of assassins that have evade, but again, a lot of bosses with the way they're scripted, you know, that's really what's going to hit you. But yeah, if you are a William Tell fan, you're absolutely going to want to get that anti-assassin passive and try to at least use them on that, because then you have Sabers, Berserkers, and Assassins, so that is something. But I mean, I will say this: the buff they gave him is fun. I'll definitely say that it's a fun, unique, you know, different thing. They've never done anything like it, and it's also lore appropriate. Like, I like the buff, and actually, I don't really have any problems with the buff. I just want them to buff him again. That's the thing. It's not enough. This really solidifies his anti-evade stuff, but he's still pretty crap without it. So I'd like them to like maybe give him like stars per turn, or, you know, team-wide debuff immunity, right? You know, maybe NP seal mixed in there or something like that, like on top of what he's already got. Maybe NP seal for multiple turns. That would be nice. What if star per turn on NP? That'd be all right. That'd be all right. That would combo well with his star bomb that he's already got. I will say another thing though that I will say I do not like about the buff is I don't like that it is on his second skill, because the way it's set up is you may very well want to cast it on a turn you're not NPing, but then you just wasted your art up. I wish it was on his first skill with the skill seal. Now, that'd still be a little awkward with the Star Bomb, but I do think it on the second skill is kind of weird. However, it still lowered the cooldown of his second skill, which I said at the very start is actually one of the best things about the buff, because now he's got a 3-turn art up on a 5-turn cooldown instead of a 6-turn cooldown. Like, that part of the buff is really nice. It really is, and it makes the debuff immunity shorter too. Like, that's actually pretty awesome. That's true. If you skill seal, they can't evade. That really is stupid. Because even if they're on different skills, that's still stupid. Because you might want the star bomb, and then now you're making it so they can't evade. That was not well thought out on their part. I think that should have been NP seal. Like that is just straight up not well thought out on their part. He really does want a boss like Lobo here that just automatically evades. That helps him a lot. Okay, who had the 90? William Tell, and are you on my friends list? What's your code, etc., etc. I don't think Dachi is here right now. Dachi, how do you say it? Because he's got a super big one. But if they buff him again, I think William Tell might be in a pretty decent spot. I wish he had an upgraded NP. Because what I don't like is that he doesn't even have an upgraded NP. So if like you can't do the evade thing, he's so subpar. I don't really like that. Because the evade thing is harder to do than like Robin Hood's poison thing. So I don't think that was a great idea. Yeah, the Booty Lancer got a buff. Nothing crazy strong, but it doesn't hurt by any means. And it definitely helps with farming. All right, let me see. Where was your code here? You know, I bet you in all my time streaming, someone that has sent me an invite, someone else has like liked their list and sent them an invite from watching the stream. I'm sure that's happened. I know it's happened for Beastly because I've seen like people say that even. That's what I did, yeah, because sometimes people show off their stuff like on my stream and like they got like a really cool support list, so does not surprise me. Beastly is one of the it's crazy how often like when people see his support list, how often people want to add him. Like he constantly has people like on anytime he talks on Discord and stuff, people are always asking to add him and stuff, and I've seen him get asked in stream all the time. He's got like really unique tastes and some very fun units, and then they're very, very well upgraded. All right, we're Art, which is good. Art is very favored for low star stuff. That ought to help him out a good bit here. Yeah, I find Art budget units do generally have a good time because the budget Art supports are really... You know what? I might try that. Oh, she's fucked on this account. She's 10, 10, 10 on my main. She's so good now. That sucks. If I was on my main account right now, I would use Boudica. I legitimately think she's a good pick here now. And the Guts is even nice in this fight. That really sucks. I could do this. I'm not sure that's worth it though. It's all right. Yeah, I'll go for the NP gain up. Level her up then. I'm not even sure I got the Roman command code on my ult. I got it on my main, right? So all good there. But I'm not 100% sure I got the Roman command code over here, which is a huge, huge, like setback for her. I can check, but I don't think I got it. All right, Lobo will, he'll evade even if I skill seal him, so I don't have to worry about that. I mean, I still want to play the garbage account, but it's up to Cairo. Like, you know, I can't progress until he progresses, and he doesn't really want to play. But I love the garbage account. But yeah, it's up to Cairo, and I keep bugging him about it, and he keeps feeling, I don't want to farm. Sucks though. That was such a fun experience. Oh, I should have brought Zhu Fu. That's what I should have done. I'm an idiot. That's 1000% what I should have done. No art cards here though. Okay, got 50 stars. I like it. Could do the crit down, but the art resist down would go to waste. But I don't want to fucking die, so. Do I want to track him? I think I wait until next turn. Could have swapped those cards around. I just threw away like 25% damage. Pretty cool, though. This is probably the best fight, like, ever for him, except for the fact that it's not a Saber. Okay. Wait, I have no way of getting my NP. And also this deck, I just need Jufu. Yeah, I have no way of getting my NP. That sucks. I have no idea what that song was, so I wasn't paying attention. And it's set to random, so I can't see it anymore. If you really, really want it, you can send me the timestamp of the VOD later, and I can tell you. Fishy, thank you for the 35-month sub. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of Jufu there. Now, my ult account does not have her at 10, 10, 10, but she's close, I think. Yeah, 5, 5, 10. Good enough. My main account is just so much stronger, and it's because I actually farm over there. I don't do shit on my ult. The next, I subbed yesterday. Wait, oh, did you just like do a double thing? I don't even... Yeah, Jufu should have been quick. Yeah, 100% should have been a quick support. It's so, and I don't even get it because you is quick. Like, you has a Buster summer variant and a normal version. No, her normal version is Buster. Her summer version is quick. But they picked Art, which is the one card type she's not. Was it Mio? Mio, thank you for the 5 months. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, can't even support her waifu. More like her idol, really. I think that's the way of putting it. Now, I can't NP on this turn, but I can NP next turn. I think I save most of this stuff. This song is way too good, dude. I love Arknights when it just like they're doing stuff right, man. It's such an enjoyable game, and that roguelike, like ending 4 and ending 3 and stuff, man, it's so good. Wow, that was very unlucky. Also, we have no... That sucks. We've got no other art cards, so I can't do like the big art crit thing. Bad luck. I'm gonna heal Mozart. I don't want him to die like that. Man, all that art up and I don't have a fucking art card. He's a cool guy, though. Yeah, maybe they'll make a U Alter, you know, someday, and that'll be art. 216. So if that was a Saber, that would have been 400,000. We didn't break. I gotta do 500 damage with that double defense up. Not maybe the best time to do this, but I really want to crit to make sure I get NP gain. You gotta loop pretty quickly. There we go. We're gonna lose the crit downs, unfortunately. Oh, he's just crit up. We're actually really lucky he didn't crit us there. What the hell? He had double crit up. Uh, 40% crit, but no NP gain. I think I'd take the quick. Yeah, that 516 sucked. If his NP didn't have sure hit, dude, like, this would be the trashiest unit on the planet. Would also not represent his lore very well. I mean, if you fight an enemy that's an archer and has some kind of evade gimmick, Or you can just line up the evade smoothly, which is not super likely, but it can happen. He'll do crazy damage. Like, he'll fuck him up. You know, he still has bad survivability and that kind of stuff, but like I think he does his job pretty well now. The main problem is if they're not Lobo, it's not easy to like get them to evade, because like it's not practical to like intentionally keep their health threshold around where it'll make them evade, right? A lot of times you'll naturally skip over it, but if you do get it and you get the tracking thing, and you're like your second NP gets it, even if they don't have evade, that's pretty nice. I like how Zhu Fu has barely taken any damage. And they haven't used this song in FGO in a long time, have they? Actually, kind of sucks. They really should do that. Maybe for the finale, they'll sneak it in there. Okay, I got a taunt. Kind of on Razor's edge here. Buster chain, but I probably need the NP gain. Wait, is she about to get her? She is. I don't need the NP gain. Zhu Fu, you absolute savior. Yeah, I think this theme's great. It's awesome. Yeah, we'll see what they do. They sometimes, for really dramatic events, will like sit down for a second and think about old themes that would be like really good to bring back. But they like making new stuff too. He is still alive, and he looped, so I could star bomb again if I wanted to. Finally, we actually have an art card on our NP turn. I think we got him. We'll see. We don't have that much art up, and he's got the defense up as well. We'll see. Yeah, I'll be ready to zeet the app here. Just in case, having this stage is very practical. This is basically, though, the best stage you're ever gonna have for William Tell. Actually, our performance is not really any different here. Actually, it's not. You don't need to track. His buff only gives him the cooldown reduction on this stage, because Lobo is evading all of the time, so we're always going to get our bonus damage. Oh, wow, that didn't do so hot. Do they have Lost Belt 6 OST available in my room? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I don't see why they wouldn't. I never buy those because you can just get them on YouTube and, you know, Spotify and shit like that. Well, I can evade here. Man, Zhu Fu has never done her NP this entire time. Which SSRs need an animation update? Jalter. Jalter as fucking day one sprite. And fucking meh animations. So bad. Regular Joan of Arc could use it too. I'd say her sprite looks way better though, just by like coincidence of how they did it. You know, she could use one too, but like when you just look at Jolt or a Joan of Arc sprite, it's not like the worst. Where Jalter looks terrible. Yeah, Vlad could use a sprite update too. His animations, I'd say, are better than Jalter's, but they're nothing to write home about by any means. But yeah, all three of them really aren't that great. Scath could use another one. Hers sucked. MHX could use one because she never got one. She got a half-seas. She got like half animation updates. They never actually fully revamped her, and she looks incredibly awkward because of that. And Okita is like that as well. Okita looks fucked, honestly. Her NP looks terrible. Like her pose doesn't, like when into the cut-in doesn't match, and it's very noticeable. And just the cut-in is just so out of place. Man, if Zhu Fu was maxed out, this heal, which we've done twice, would have healed for moral both times, and then it'd be lower cooldown, so we might have gotten it one more time. And so William Tell would actually be kind of near full health right now. Okay, I think we got him now. No defense up. We still have attack up, art up. I think we'll just bail out. I'm pretty sure we got it. And we got the 2 crits, so I'm pretty confident we kill here. Not bad. I mean, though, to be fair, that was his best case scenario, right? Like, that was one of the best stages ever for him, and it could have been better, but it could have been worse. It's all right. It's just the buff didn't really matter there. The buff was just the cooldown reduction. It's really hard to show his buff off, though, because he is just such a ridiculously situational unit, and this buff did not change that. However, I really do like that cooldown reduction. It's only 1 turn, but that's nice. Just get that art up a little bit more, get the debuff immunity a little bit more. I actually think that's the best part of the buff, like, hands down. Whereas, like, Taiga, even with the debuff reduction, her timer is still so long that it's still pretty awkward. I'm trying to think where I could even show off his buff. I have no idea why they've not animation updated Jolter. It's so weird. I don't know what. They're just lazy fucks, man. All right, let's do some of the anniversary, though. I guess we could use William Tell against Dagon real quick, although I don't think... Oh, this is the wrong account. I don't think that'll go very well, but... Does Dagon evade? Because if he does... The thing is, he's a berserker, and William Tell has no survivability, so he'll... Oh. Never mind. I mean, I could use mine, but it's just level 70, so that's going to be pretty pointless. Wait, you know what? I guess I'll kill Wu because I don't like Wu. Although that's kind of mean, isn't it? Although it's mean to kill someone you like, too, so... There's really no way to make this nice. Who shall we use? I would like to use her, but I've never leveled her skills because she's in P1, which is a bit of an issue. Got Scath. Sanson, boys. I do need a lottery event. It just I didn't do the last lottery event because I hated it. That was so fucked. So, chat, I should have waited to look at this carefully until the drip tier list, but what is with his pants? And then this is not any better. Like, what is going on here? Don't worry about it, I worry about it. Like, the rest of the drip's not bad, but, like, what the fuck are these pants? It's so out of place on this stage, too, because you can see it so clearly. Cool coat, though. I do like his, like, sly look. I do enjoy that. All right, we'll give Scath a go. I feel like I don't use her that often. Like, I use her every once in a while when I want to do a solo and I want to mix it up. But that's about it. I like how Sly is in your name. But I agree. The thing is, we've had really negative responses to FGO before, and they didn't change. Now, however, I have said this for a while, and I probably should have mentioned this on my VOD, because that VOD where I ranted about the anniversary being crap and like their UI design being crap, that VOD got way more attention than normal. That's actually kind of wild. I didn't even like try to promote that. It just happened. But I should have mentioned something. Part of the problem is just their typical state of them paying very little money to hire anybody and them not hiring a lot of people, and all they've hired recently were college kids, right? And those people probably haven't come into swing yet. So they're just really behind on staff. However, they're not, from what I've seen, they have not taken any steps to improve that. So I have not checked this last month, but for like the last 3 years, they have been trying to hire a UI lead and they never have. And it's because they're not paying enough money to attract one. And UI designers are in really high demand. And it's because one, every video game ever needs UI design, but then a lot of companies that have nothing to do with video games also need UI design for like computer systems and things like that. There's all kinds of reasons why UIs need to be designed for things. So yeah, it's an extremely high demand thing. It's also very difficult, and it requires a lot of experience generally, because most people just do not understand how to make a good UI. They don't know what makes a good UI. Like, they can feel it, but they don't know how to design it. And so with the pennies they're paying, they're just not going to get one. And the proof's in the pudding. They've had a job posting for a UI lead for years and years and years. I mean, it's crazy how long they've been looking, and they've never filled it. So yeah, that's a huge, huge problem. But yeah, I think that is part of the issue. So there's a chance that just randomly someday, like those college kids they hired will get experience enough and get integrated, and maybe they actually finally pay people enough and they hire more people, and then out of nowhere the game's gonna start getting way better. That could happen. All right, command codes. Scath. With the cool mask. See, you know what would not make Scath look better? Is if this was all bright blue. And then like these like darker black parts were like silver. That would not work out. And as much as I love Ku, that's what Ku's doing. However, Ku doesn't have, like, Ku's shoulder pads look way better than hers. Hers are pretty whatever. They're pretty weak. But yeah, Ku would look a lot better if he had much darker colors. And he has a skin in Fate Extella Link, which is unfortunately a terrible video game, but Ku does have a skin in that, which makes his like get up like black and stuff, and it does look a lot better. Way, way, way better. I don't remember what Dagon does at all. I have no idea. He was such a forgettable boss. I think they've buffed him here, so he's a bit harder, but he was so forgettable that I don't remember a damn thing. I'll bring a debuff clear to be safe. I don't forgive the UI at all. It's so important. UI is so important. Because, like, for example, veterans of the game might be used to it, but that doesn't make it less shit. You're just used to the shit. Right? It's kind of like if you eat one of the worst meals on the planet every day, you grow accustomed to it. That doesn't mean it's a good meal. And it scares people off constantly. It also wastes your time. Like, I am so sick of how long it takes. Like, like what I'm doing right now, I have to exit out of the stage, back out a bunch, watch all these fucking animations. This is stupid. It takes so long to just set up command codes. And this is not hard to fix. It is an incredibly easy fix to make this a much more wieldy UI. And I know for a fact lots of people don't want to like challenge themselves or do hard content because they don't want to deal with this crap. Half the time I don't want to deal with this crap. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, it is a huge fucking problem for the game. Like, you can't level up craft essences from the team screen, for God's sakes. Oh, speaking of which, chat, I spent almost 500,000 FP. I spent like 420,000, and then I spent a bunch more after that. And then I actually just spent a bunch of rare prisms to buy even more FP. And I was doing that because I wanted to make CE bombs, and also I need 2 more Ku copies to finally get a second passive. And after doing all of that, I never got a single copy of Ku. And then I used 21 summon tickets on Story Summon, and I didn't get a copy of Ku. Funnily enough, I did not get any Ongros, but I think my Ongra is in P5 now. I've been playing for so long. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Alright, we'll do a debuff clear. Huge news, I checked Lizangle's website and they no longer have a job posting for FGO for UI lead. Huh. Really? That's funny because I had checked somewhat recently and they still had it. So that's a very recent development. Well, the good news about that is, let's say they hired them last month, they would not have been able to do anything for the anniversary anyway. However, I still have no hope. And here's why. I have a feeling whatever they hired that UI lead for is just to make the UI for like the new events and stuff that they make, that the one-time use UI. I don't think they even want them to do anything new. They've just been delegating that to like someone else that's not actually their job, and that's been an issue. And the reason I think that, and the reason I don't think they're planning on updating it, is because they just added this shit. Right? They added more filters, which is just the most band-aid fix of all time. And I don't think they would have done this right now if they were actually planning on revamping the UI. Maybe the new guy added the filters. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I really don't have any... At this point, I don't really have any hope that they're planning on really updating the UI and trying to make it better. I think they might do... I think they're going to just keep doing shit like this, where they add more filters and they tack on a new button. Like, I think they might eventually add a button that goes to the command code UI from the battle screen, but it's still going to have to deload and load, and it's still going to, like, make you watch the animations and all this other stupid shit. Yeah, they're not going to revamp it. I think they will eventually, like, connect some stuff where it's like you can go straight to this screen from that screen. That kind of thing, but that is so low effort. Yeah, the filters right now are pretty out of control. All right, let's see where my Ongra's at. But yeah, I always, at this point, I just expect them to do the really easy, stupid shit that's a band-aid fix. This is not the right UI. You know, even though I'm free to play, except for Edmund, I've been playing for so long, I have a lot of 4 stars at NP5. Like, I've got, you know, Siegfried there, I've got Lancelot. I think both Lancelots, actually. Beowulf's NP4. She's NP5, like, Jesus. It's Gozen. I've never tried to get Gozen at any point, but she's NP5. Funnily enough, Emiya's only NP2. But NP4, you know, double NP5s right there. Although I actually rolled on a raid up for him, for Fionn. Yeah, I got quite a few 4 stars in NP. Castergil, Neocris is NP4. Carmela's NP4. It's when you play for so long, it happens. I'm not wailing, chat. All right, where's Zongra? Oh, he's gotta go to 65. Hold up. Oh, he's MP5. Yeah, I thought he was. Oh, wow. I didn't realize red hair was an MP5. I gotta roll more story. Penthin, Attila, not Attila, Atalante, or MP4. I don't know how the fuck my Emiya is in P2. That's actually wild. And then, like, my Herc is in P1. He was the last 4-star I got. I had every other 4-star, other than some, like, limited ones that I passed on. But out of all the unlimited 4 stars, I had every single one of him, except for Herc. And I think all of them are in P1 or in P2 or higher. So it's just terrible luck. And also, I didn't get Hercules. I got him from a ticket. Like, I think the last time they did a ticket, I finally picked him from that. So I don't think I've ever rolled a Hercules on my main account, which is pretty fucked. Yeah, I remember very vividly when so when I first played FGO, I didn't know about re-rolling, and then I found out about it, so I started over. And I think I re-rolled for Mordred. And I think I got Jolter too or something. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, when I did start over like that, I didn't have Hercules as like my tutorial summon, and I was kind of upset about that. But I was like, because he's the one I wanted. But I was like, okay, well, you know, I could see he's a vanilla 4-star. I knew enough about the game. You know, I knew he wasn't story locked or any of that.
Filthy scum.
So I'm like, you know, over time, of course I'm going to get him, right? And then he was the last 4-star I got, and it was like, you know, 7 years later or 6 years later. Like, wow, it was a real mistake because I ended up getting more Mordreds in that time, and I got a Jolter in that time from a GSSR or some crap. So yeah, I made a mistake. You know, more dreads. Yeah. But I did eventually get him. It's just, I'm pretty sure he's still just NP1. And I really would like him to be higher than that. Yep, and that was from a ticket, so I've never actually rolled him. Someday. Alright, that'll do. Yeah, GSSR was never really good to me. I'm kind of glad I stopped doing them because I kept getting Ishtar. I got Ishtar multiple times. I think I got Summer, like Tam, Lancer. I got Astolfo, Saber. It was good to my ult account though. Do y'all remember this? I streamed it. I did one GSSR on my ult account, and I got Achilles and Alexander the Great, like his 5-star version. Yeah, Iskandar. That was wild. That was wild. But other than that, I really never got much. Never got Moriarty. I remember chat, I used to like always pick what would give me a shot at getting Moriarty. Never got him. Yeah, it did not work out. But yeah, I got the trap once. All right. Our boy Dagon. We doing some Lovecraftian shit. He's got damage resist, but it's something specific. I kind of want to translate this. If I was playing on my own, I would screenshot this and put it in a translator and see what it said. Because it's like something and something. Does anybody know? Because I don't mind that being spoiled. I don't really want to trial and error that. And he's weak to all this stuff. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten a Musashi on my main account. I have her on my ult. Funnily enough, I've got her on my ult from trying to get Baldy when he was rated up back in the day. Wait, he's like resistant to divinity or something? It was something and something else. You can see the and right there. I would love an Ivan. I've never had an Ivan on any account. Regular damage resist, and then more damage resist against divinity is what it seems like. Interesting. I wonder if he's giving us divinity with that trait thing down there. You can see the trait thing kicking in when you're attacking, so it's possible. Yeah, Ivan and Moriarty are like 2 5-stars that I've wanted and I've tried to get and never been able to get. You know, I've been able to obtain most things I've really gunned for. To be fair though, I've never gone like really all in on Ivan and such. I've never like, you know, like right now with all my SQ, I've not like blown at all trying to get Ivan. But I have tried a little bit to get Ivan and stuff, and it's just never worked out. I can't quite get my NP. I almost can, but not quite. So I guess I evade. And then Rainbow. Probably focus on damage though. No debuff to clear, but higher crit chance. Yeah, I'd want an NP2 Ivan. Same for Moriarty. I would not be happy with an NP1 Moriarty. Nice crits, asshole. Like all that stuff, and we did a rainbow chain, and you didn't crit one time. Pretty cool attack animation. He only has... Oh, no. He did HP up, so he has 3 actions per turn. We might not need this. I kind of want to save it. 263. Is Dagon divine? I know he's like worshipped in the sea and stuff. How Lovecraftian did they go with Dagon? I would say he probably does have divinity. Yeah, I'm gonna do this and then not do my second skill. And then I'll quick. This was one of the summer events. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw the icon there. Yep, I can see it. So he is divine, or the other one is like undead or some crap. Okay, buff block. I could remove it now. I'd remove the defense down now. Oh no, it got. Okay, this is getting weird. Yeah, I can save this. I don't need to cast anything here. It is kind of boring that rainbow chains make her normally want to just do a rainbow chain instead of any of the other funky shit she can do. It overall makes her better, but it's not as interesting, I suppose. Well, there's a good time for our second skill. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because I'm going to whiff that. Do I want a rainbow? Because I've got Merlin, but I also have quick up. I think we do quick chain. Get him. 209. Yeah, there we go. Pretty easy for her so far, unless he does something really crazy on this last HP bar. I'll have to use a slightly weaker unit than her if I want to make a video for this. Unless I wanted to show off her animations or something, but I don't really want to do that because I think I made a video for her animation update anyway. A pretty smooth solo for her here. Probably more fun on Ku because Ku would do way less damage with the damage resist. They've had a decent amount of Lovecraftian stuff. And actually, a lot of stuff from Lovecraft, he popularized, but he didn't actually invent. Like, I don't think he made Dagon. He popularized him 1000%, but I mean, look, I may be completely wrong in this, but I don't think Lovecraft invented Dagon. Let me see. Yep, it's actually from Babylonian myth. It's just something he incorporated. And actually, Dagon is quite interesting in the way he did incorporate it into Lovecraftian stuff, though. Because Dagon is a lot more tangible. Because he's not like some space bullshit entity. He's kind of like an ancient underwater deity thing. Right? So he's a lot more understandable by mortals. He's a lot more like, you know, in grasp, right? Like within range, if you will. Where, you know, Cthulhu is not, right? Cthulhu is just so alien and can't understand it at all. But yeah, it's from like Babylonian stuff and whatnot. So it's old. Dagon's old as shit, actually. Now he unquestionably though it was popularized by Lovecraft, and Lovecraft definitely kind of how do I put this? Pretty much everyone now, when they take some kind of take on Dagon, it's normally inspired by the Lovecraftian stuff, right? And as I know, I read it, but it's been a while. I think they did reference his like Babylonian origin and stuff in FGO. I think after reading that, I kind of remember that. So I do think they referenced that at least somewhat. But his design and stuff definitely is what you would expect, like Lovecraft. We are about to fuck him up. So I could obviously stun him here, and then after that, if he was still alive, because spoilers, he's probably dead. But if he was still alive after the stun, then I could invulnerability, and then this would come back, which wouldn't matter too much, but I could probably stun again, and that might buy me enough time to get the evade again. I'd be pushing it, but I probably could get the evade again before I would die. And then maybe I could NP again as well after that, maybe. Probably Rainbow Chain here to just take care of business. Scath is a pretty good solo unit. She has a lot of holes. She's not as like versatile as Kama or even Ku and things like that. Like for example, if you're fighting 2 enemies, her stun isn't nearly as good, and then you lose so much survivability. But she's fine. If she's fighting Divinity, she's quite good. If she's not, then she's good. I mean, she's certainly a good solo unit, but she is not on the caliber of Enkidu, King Hassan, Kama, right? Some of the, even like Super Orion. I don't know, she might be able to keep up with Super Orion, because Super Orion is godly in certain contexts, but he's actually really weak in other contexts. Because there are some bosses where, like, no matter how much damage you can do, you can't win that fast, and then he only has guts, and it's not enough. Like, he's actually lost just kind of some embarrassing stuff. But Scath is, like, solid, but she is a step, maybe a step and a half down from the real big boys. But she becomes a big boy when they have Divinity and stuff like that. But she's good, and she's kind of interesting to use, and certainly unique. Yeah, I remember he couldn't even beat those fucking lizards just because you had to have a certain amount of survivability, and he just couldn't. Maybe now he could, though, because of, like, you know, passives, and you know, if you're 120, I'm sure at 120 he could probably do it. Because that was at, like, 90, I think. Scath is okay against Fluffy because she still does huge damage, and she still has an evade. And, like, huge damage is really nice in that fight. But she's not, like, as good as she normally would be. You know, they might buff her sometime. I actually think there's other units that need it more. I think it's Tam Lancer. I really think the next 5-star is Tam Lancer. Because she is rated up, like we talked about earlier, and she needs a buff anyway, so I do think it's her. But we'll see. Okay, let's maybe downgrade a bit for Dagon here. That was a little... Fuck, though. You can't use chat. This is the perfect stage for chat units. Maybe we fight... You know what? I think the best stage for messing around chat is probably this one. Because you can use chat's units, and it was decently hard. Alright, what do you want to see, chat? Shut up, Ace. Karna solo again. It really just comes down to that one turn if the if Nitocris decides to bust your lip or not. That's really what'll do it. Dante would get crushed, I'm pretty sure. He's not much of a... Well, maybe not this one. Because he's level 120. Like, I'll try it. I doubt this is gonna work out, though. NP4 120. Well, we'll see. It's one of his best chances. Yep, that was from GSSR. That's probably the last one I ever did. And then I stopped wanting to do them, and then also they made it so you can't buy like SQ if you're an English speaker on JP very easily anymore. Like if you're in North America, it's very difficult. You can do it, but you have to jump through a hoop. And I don't really want to do that. I didn't really want to spend anyway, so. There hasn't been a single GSSR I've even been tempted by. I forgot. Was Abigail getting a rate up? Was Summer Abigail getting a rate up? Because that would... No? Okay, then it could just be regular Abigail. She needs it too. Oh, is Van Gogh rated up? She might get it then. It's possible. She doesn't need it at all, but... They normally have a few what the fuck picks that make no sense. So far, all of the buffs have made sense. Now, maybe the buffs themselves weren't strong enough and things like that. But so far, every unit that's been buffed has absolutely deserved to get buffed. Like, William Tell, I think, is the archer that deserved the buff the most. I think Taiga was the lancer that deserved the buff the most. And Booty Lancer's certainly up there. And Saber Alter was certainly up there. I mean, look, any other 4-star Saber that I think deserved a buff more. Now, the thing is, there's another 4-star Saber. So there'd have to be more than one other one. Because like Dion and like Rama both, yeah, Dion and Rama could both use it. I would say Rama probably deserves it the most. Even more than Saber Alter. So if the other one is Rama, it's fine. If the other one is Dion, it really isn't fine. Like Rama really deserves one of them. Their mid could, how do I put this? Like, he is alright. He's certainly nothing special, and it wouldn't be a crime to buff him. But I think Dion needs it more. But Deer mid is a little basic, I'll put it that way. Yeah, Dion does feel really behind now, I agree. Just with the way the game is, it's weird because, like, George doesn't feel behind, even though he hasn't changed either. But I think it's because of team cost and stuff. And also the flexibility of his guts. It is just, it's so easy to work George onto the team if you need a taunt. Where, like, Dion's more expensive, it's just not worth it. Alright. So, we'll definitely kill Darius when we NP, no question. I'd like to kill all three. That's really the only way AoE is practical here. It's gonna be hard to do that, though. Oh, fuck, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Moon Cancer. Yep, George is much, much easier to get. I mean, I would say this. Veterans of the game pretty much all have Dion because he's just vanilla 4-star. If you're in like Lost Belt 7, you've been playing this whole time, you probably have Dion. But if you start the game like yesterday, then you very well may not. But yeah, team cost matters. I think I'm gonna cast this because I really want a crit. I think I need to do the attack up because I really need to bust up this Moon Cancer. I think I Rainbow Chain. For 120, this is one hell of an Edmund. God damn it, he's cool. Ivan lived. That's so bad. That's so bad, dude. Oh, that sucks. That's low high roll too. Ivan, please throw. Be an idiot. Not a good start. Ivan, what are you doing? Fucking me up, that's what. I don't think you could ever weather that. That's pretty oof. Didn't this song just play? Let me mix that playlist up here. That Ivan emote. I don't think we have a chance here. Looking pretty bad. Probably quick chain. Who the fuck is Blade? Oh, Star Rail. Dude, I was racking my brain. I was like, who the fuck is Blade? I had no idea what you were talking about. And Vintiox, thank you so much for the raid, man. What's up, dude? There's no I mean this, chat. When they showed the anniversary buffs, the first thing I was looking for was Bronze Assassin, and I do every time. That's the #1 thing I'm looking for, and it's because of Sanson and Phantom, and Charlotte, really, because she needs it too. Like, there are so many Bronze Assassins that I really want to see buffed. And yeah, we didn't get one. There's no bronze. There's only one bronze getting a buff this entire batch, which I'm super pissed about. I care about Silvercaster, obviously. Like, I want to see Geronimo, Medea, you know, all that stuff get buffed. But Sanson is my #1, but then probably Phantom #2, and then probably Charlotte, because, like, I'm not really a big Charlotte fan, but, like, she deserves it a lot. But I'm always looking for it. Phantom versus Bargus was a 25-turn stall fest when Phantom took 0 damage. Not which Bargus, because you fight her a lot. Because the final time you fight her, that would be so annoying. But yeah, because of MASH, you could stall fest. That'd be awful. Holy crap, that'd be so awful, dude. 13 arrow 6. I cannot remember the final time you fight her. Burning Forest. Okay, yeah, I think spoilers. You fight her again. The next one, you're not gonna have fun. I can say that. Yep, spoilers. I don't think it's that much of a spoiler, though. It's pretty obvious in the story she's not dead or anything, so... Wow, look how bad Edmund's doing it. This is a travesty. I'll get my NP no matter what here. Boy, though, I won't spoil it, because I don't think you know from last time I saw, but I know you're aware that Phantom has gotten a shot, you know, in the pants, kick in the pants recently, where he's actually somewhat useful. And it's not a meme. It's not a meme. It is useful. Like I've tested it out on some pretty hard stuff, and it's good. It's just it's very specific. Basically, if it's a single target fight and there's nothing there to fuck it up, it's good. If you're fighting one enemy, it's good. It's very, very good. Well, I can break here, but we're dead after this. I thought Edmund might do a little bit better than this, but I'm aware that Edmund's not a good solo unit, and I'm aware that AoE is bad on this stage. So I didn't think he would win, but I was hoping he would do better than this. Yeah, the 6 turns, it's the perfect amount of debuff down, especially if you use demonic or anything to give overcharge. And yeah, the 6 turns to just, you get to just go, go, go. It's really nice. And see, now, if they give Phantom something else, like some kind of nice utility on his skills to go with like the stars per turn and all that, he'll actually really be getting somewhere. Wow, we just instantly died there. It'd be pretty hard for Edmund to beat that stage, even at 120. That's such a bad stage for him. Yeah, I did not like, I honestly, I know you did, but I did not like Phantom's second skill buff. I really did not like that buff because, like, it's not bad, right? It's not like it doesn't do anything. Like, I take that over nothing, of course. But, like, if there's just so many situations where you're fighting an enemy that you could have charmed them anyway, right? And then some bosses do cast things that you very, 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 very much want to remove their buffs, and it's awesome. But there's also a bunch of fucking bosses where you don't give a crap about removing their buffs, and then it's like, he wasn't buffed. This is just old Phantom. Because I'm sure you've seen that. You fight a boss that they're female, and then, or they're charm immune, and they don't have buffs you need to remove, and it's like, yeah, this is just Phantom from, it's the same thing, nothing changed. And I would just prefer, because I know sometimes his buff comes in handy, of course, so of course it comes in handy sometimes. But there's also times that no matter what, it literally did not change his gameplay at all. And I think anyone would agree that Phantom of the Opera is a unit that could have used a buff that just universally increased his gameplay all of the time, no matter what, right? That's not really the unit to be like, hey, let's give him a sometimes buff, right? It's kind of like when they buffed Lion King. I felt the same way when they gave her that anti-niche. I'm like, does she really need a niche? Like, can we just give her a buff, please, that works all of the time? Because my thing is, if the unit is already good, giving them a sometime buff is fine. If the unit is meh or bad, they need a buff that is just a universal value increase all of the time. And, you know, that's like Ben K, Sanson, Phantom of the Opera, Geronimo, not as much, but Geronimo. Like, those units, Jekyll and Hyde, those units need massive, massive value increases. Because they're so far behind everybody. Okay, chat. Who else we want to see? Who else we want to see here? And before someone says Santa Karna again, which, I mean, we could do it, but it really is just RNG on that one turn. Twins? That actually is an interesting pick. Yeah, William Tell, I don't really like his buff, because a lot of the time it does nothing. That's another one I don't like. Lancer Karna, that's interesting. I like the twins. Ziggy, are you here? Ziggy, my boy. I don't know how they'll do here. They only have the 1 turn of survival, so I think they might be a lot like Karna, where it's like, well, if the boss does huge normal card damage like they can do, then you're dead, and if they don't... Oh, we got these twins. It'd be nice if we had a slightly stronger one, I think, but I think that'll have to do. Oh yeah, Ziggy is 120, isn't it? Imagine having coins. Oof. Saber Alter's buff was not overkill. Nope. Nope, that's not at all. Actually, her buff is kind of whatever. Like, it's fine. It's good for farming, but who the fuck is struggling with farming? Like, I just think most people do not have a very good barometer of what's actually having a practical impact. A lot of stuff you're doing with Saber Alter right now would have worked anyway. Like, most fights, you don't need Pierce and Vulnerability. And when you need it, it's great, right? If you do have an AoE, like, main story fight come along, and that happens. I've seen AoE fights where you do have need of Pierce and Vulnerability, right? But that's pretty few and far between. You know, most stages you don't need Pierce and Vulnerability, and most stages you could have strong-armed looped anyway, because you could have done, like, you know, Veach Oberim and shit like that, and the stage is over. Now, sure, if you don't want to do that, or you can't do that, but maybe you have a friend's Veach, you got your Saber Alter, your friend's Veach, you double up on the Buster thing, you hit 3 targets with the NP, sure, it's nice. Of course it's nice. But that's not overkill. That's just, hey, this is a nice thing she can do now, which she needed because she was hilariously behind like Siegfried and stuff, and she still is in a lot of situations. I'd actually say her buff is totally fine. I don't think it's a shitty buff, but I don't think it's anything special because she's still outclassed by Siegfried in a lot of situations. Now, she can be better than Siegfried in some situations, and that's why it's a good buff. Because it is good sometimes, but there's nothing crazy about that buff. It's like, okay, Pierce and Vulnerability, good sometimes, but more times than not, it won't do anything. And then the NP gain thing sometimes is just going to go to waste, and you wouldn't have needed it. And then it's more and more like free to play, you know, early game setups and things like that. You're not going to be able to loop even with it because it's not enough. Like, an overkill buff would be like adding a 50% battery on a separate scale. That's not on an original battery. That's a ridiculous buff, right? You know, adding a conditional thing like that, certainly nice, but, you know, on her own, it's not really guaranteed to generate that much NP. You know, if it's 3 targets, it's 30% NP. That's not that crazy. Who the fuck thinks a 30% battery only when they hit 3 targets is overkill, right? Meanwhile, you got a bunch of units that have a bunch of fucking, you know, I got Morgan over there that they just added, right? That's way more ridiculous. If she ignored defense instead, I mean, you're just swapping a niche for a niche there, right? Like, I guess defense up is more common than invulnerability, right? So it'd kick in a little bit more, but you have more ways of dealing with defense than you do invulnerability, right? So like, Pierce invulnerability is more premium. You don't need it very often, but when you do need it, it's harder to come by. So if it was me, if I could pick, I would stick with Pierce invulnerability because it's just, you know, it's more of a special thing where it's pretty easy to deal with armor. Generally, there's a lot of units that do it. Like, Pierce invulnerability is not really that common for like free to play. Now, you may not have what's her name, Saber Alter, right? So you can't do it anyway. But if you happen to have her, it's more valuable to you, I would say, than Pierce or Armor Ignore. Excuse me. I'm out of my mind. I can't talk. Yeah, of course people want at least 30% battery because of Veach Oberim. I know that. That's why I brought that up. But the thing is, it doesn't make it some crazy buff because lots of units already can do shit like that, right? And hers is just more conditional. This is just a fact. This is not an opinion, right? You have to hit fucking 3 targets for it to give you that battery. What if there's only 2 targets? That happens all the time. There's loads of farming stages now where it's only 2 targets. Or what if it's 1 target and shit like that? And obviously you may say, then why would you use Saber Alter? But there's other AoE characters you can use. Especially in these new farming stages where you fight like 1 enemy, 2 enemy, 1 enemy, or 2 enemies, 2 enemies, 1 enemy, or 3 enemies, 1 enemy, 1 enemy. All these weird shits like that. A lot of times you end up using, you know, AoE stuff. You still have to a wave or 2 that's not AoE, and she's not going to be great for that kind of thing. You know, she's good for like 333 stuff, but who the hell was struggling with 333 stuff? Like, if you have access to Veach Oberim, why are you struggling with 333 stuff? Like, what the hell? Like, now, if you like Saber Alter and you just want to be able to use her during that stuff, that's totally fine, right? I'm not saying the buff doesn't have some kind of use. I do not think Saber Alter's buff is weak. I don't. I just don't think it's anything special. I don't think it's like, wow, this unit is just so crazy now. It's just people see looping and they think it's good. Like that's new. Like, we haven't been looping for years and years and years. Have you guys noticed every new unit and like every buffed unit, people find ways to make videos of them 3-turning, you know, stupid free quests and stuff? This is not, it's not hard, right? We have so many bullshit supports now. You can make I'm not kidding, you can make Geronimo loop. It's not even that hard, right? Like you can literally just we have so many battery servants that it is just so easy to make anything loop, anything, right? So I'm not, you know, excuse me for not being impressed by a 30% battery that automatically kicks in if you NP if you hit 3 targets, right? Like that's just kind of whatever. I'll be right back though. Hold on, chat. I gotta get water. Give me a second here. But yeah, if you're like a big Saber Alter fan, you know, go farm and it'll work out for you. But you probably have done that before. Okay, I can think of something pretty practical with Saber Alter. I can think of something really pretty practical here. Now this isn't like the most practical thing ever because this does have some conditions to it, but I'm sure there's someone out there where this applies to them. So let's say you've got your Saber Alter, and then maybe you picked Waver as your 5-star ticket or something, or you just got spooked by him. Because I know there are people out there that have Waver, but they don't have the other meta supports because the other meta supports are limited, right? So a lot of people don't have them. There's plenty of fuckers out there that do not have the meta supports. But you have Waver, right? You have Waver, who's kind of meta, but so her buff is absolutely good for Waver because what you can now this is kind of hard to do, but let's say you have K scope, right? You don't have super scope yet because obviously that's you know, a bigger deal. But you've got regular K scope or cope scope. And then you have Saber Alter's passive, right? 20% starting NP. So she can turn 1 NP, no help, right? A lot of people are going to go for that. So you NP, you clear a wave, or maybe a Raj cleared a wave, and then she NPs the second wave, you know, however you're doing it. But she NPs a wave with no help, and then she gets the refund, and then she does her battery, that's 50. If there were 3 enemies, obviously it's gonna be fucked up if there's not, and that's why I don't think the buff is that crazy. But then you're at 50, so then Waver can buff, and then there's your 100, and that'll buff 20% to another unit. Because if you Arashed or something, or there's just another unit waiting there, there you go. That's a pretty good team, right? Saber Alter, Waver, and then either Arash or literally another. If you do Saber Alter for the first 2 waves. And then a bigger DPS for the 3rd wave, like a single target if it's one of those stages or whatever. Right? That's pretty flexible. That's not crazy. That's a flexible team, right? Saber Alter, Waver, then whatever unit is applicable. That's nice. That's nice. Now it's not the nicest because you still need to hit 3 enemies, etc., right? Like Mordred's better if you happen to have her. Mordred's rarer, of course, but you know, Mordred or regular Artoria's got the easier way of doing that kind of loopy thing. It's just less, you know, less conditions. Why do I have no NP gain? We might want a different CE. Yeah, there's no way. I can't sit here for a bunch of turns getting beat on. These guys will kill you so fast. Yeah, we need starting NP there. Do we not have their passive either? Because They pretty much have to be able to NP right away. Like there's no way they're gonna do this otherwise. I do agree that people do over prioritize farming efficiency. And actually it's not because the events last 3 weeks. I'll show you why it doesn't matter. Right here. This is why it doesn't matter. Right? Like, most people stop farming because they ran out of AP. They didn't stop farming because it took too long for them to clear the stages. So who cares? Like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, if you 5-turn or 6-turn even, you know, you're probably only gonna do a few stages anyway. Right, it's pretty irrelevant. It really only matters when you start busting out this stuff. But most events, you don't really need to use this stuff, right? That's why I have so many of them, right? Like, and that goes back to the 3-week thing, right? But you normally, with your vanilla AP, can get through the stuff and clear the shop and whatnot, and it's no big deal. And even if you are using these, you're not using so many of these to like fill up your time. You're still probably only going to use a few here and there, and you could still get it done with like a 5-turn, a 6-turn, 7-turn, 8, even 10-turn, right? It doesn't really matter. Now, some people, and this is fair, right? This is fair. There's no reason to hate on somebody for liking 3-turning, right? They might just enjoy it. Now, I do know for a fact, because many people have told me this, and I've seen it for myself, where people get kind of pressured into it, right? Because you see it on Reddit, on the Discords, on the YouTube videos, right? People kind of get peer pressured into feeling like they're supposed to 3-turning, and they don't want to be the guy 5-turning or whatever, right? But they shouldn't. That's dumb, right? 3-turning does not really fucking matter, and it can actually be a bad thing. Like 3-turning can be bad because it can make you bring a setup that is actually less AP drop efficient, and because you're not spamming rainbow apples, that there's no reason for you to be inefficient with the drop AP ratio. Like the time ratio is not that important for most people. It just isn't. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about it. I care about it sometimes for fun, because I have enjoyed it occasionally. You know, I don't like sweat it, but like for example, there was that stage with like the big Nobu with like the bunch of HP and stuff, right? That was kind of awkward to farm. That was kind of fun finding different ways to 3-turn it. I thought that was a fun thing to do. But it can also be fun to like do a 5 or 6 turn where you do just crazy damage on the last turn and you're just kind of having fun buff stacking, or just see your favorite unit do a big crit, right? Like I've done this, and I'm sure people in my chat have done this. I've had times where I know how to 3-turn a stage and I just don't, and instead I'm like, hey, let's bring like Hans and Billy the Kid and do some crit stuff and just enjoy the normal card damage as I go and just, you know, punch people in the face. I've you know, done it with Lancelot and all kinds of random units. And sometimes I just want to punch something, right? I don't care about, oh my god, I got to 3-turn this, right? But yeah, I do think the player base gets kind of obsessed with it. But so I said this in Mythic's stream last night, and I felt this way for years. Oh my god, I felt this way for years. And if you disagree, I want to hear it, right? I'm curious how people feel about this. But I have always felt like the FGO community just likes Fate so much and stuff that they want more things to dig their teeth into and talk about, but they have literally nothing to talk about. So they just obsess over these minute differences between Billy the Kid and William Tell, and no one's even using either of them. Or they obsess over how to 3-turn because they have nothing else to talk about. I am shocked at how much fucking bullshit drama happens in the FGO community when nothing fucking happens in this game. It's actually crazy, like how much people argue, and like I see it a lot on my Discord where people will like try to like take me down a peg. Like they'll listen to me say like a 5-second clip on my stream, and then they'll give like an essay of why Green Man is wrong, and they're trying to like show that I'm better at the game than Green Man when they're fucking theory crafting about fucking Billy the Kid versus William Tell. And I'm just like, the fuck is wrong with you? And like I don't know how this community does that kind of stuff so much, but it's because they just don't have anything else to do, because we don't have like a lot of content. All right, they give us very little per month in this game. Like so little per month is added to this game, so they're just bored. I very much felt that, like, where this community is just bored and they want more and they just don't have more. It's whack. Don't start with me, Ace. The funny thing is, Ace, I proved my point on stream. It's just you all are delusional, right? Like, you could literally see on those turns that if Karna had been hit as hard as Percival was, he would have died, right? Like, you could see that clear as day. And then when Ku did it, he had like 5 turns of value left over, right? And where Karna, you know, barely beat it, right? These are not the same thing, all right? And see, now chat is out here acting like, God, this is never going to end, by the way. It doesn't matter what I do on stream. You know, chat is going to forever champion Santa Karna from now on. There's just nothing I can do about it. But you're all delusional, champ. It didn't matter that Ku was 120. Like, you could clearly see how it didn't matter. His health was never low enough that it mattered, and he had like 4 to 5 turns left over, right? Like, that is so much. And like anyone, and I know Ace knows this. Ace is good enough at this game that he knows this. 5 turns is huge. That's why like the Fluffy nerf was a big deal, because it was like 1 turn of value you didn't need anymore, and that's actually a lot. Like, that actually makes the fight a decent amount easier, right? And if you get like into 2 turns of value, that's massive. That is such a value shift. Like, each turn is a big fucking deal in this game, generally speaking. Karna is cool though. Karna is cool, and it's not. I've never said Santa Karna is a bad unit, right? Or even a bad solo unit. He's just nothing special. And it's true, he has 1 survival skill that's a 2-hit evade, right? And then he's got an unupgraded quick, but he does have a damage up skill and stuff. But it's pretty vanilla, right? Like Santa Karna is a pretty vanilla thing. Yeah, he's better than like William Tell or something, who's got no survival skill and that kind of thing. You know, he's not trash, right? Of course he's not trash, but there is nothing special about Santa Karna. He's just fine, right? He's just okay. And then when he's grailed to 100 and all that, then of course he's gonna do decent. I wonder if Ku can fight with his fists. He probably can to an extent. I'm sure there's some stories of that. Actually, his spear is kind of special, but this is very much a thing in Fate Stay Night. If you read like his character material and just looked at all this stuff, Ku is very much a story of the man making the spear, not the other way around. And because if you actually look at it, most of what's making his bulg so dangerous is unique to Ku, and like it's not on Scath's spear and stuff. Like, he invented his own technique to do the cause effect reversal, and then like he can, you know, buff the spear with his runes, and there's just a lot of stuff that's not really inherent to the spear that would normally do. Like, out of the box, it's good, but it's not like that crazy. It's like Ku's kind of unique way of using it that makes it a very, very scary NP. Because legit, Ku's NP, as of like Fate Stay Night and on, is very scary, right? Because it's got the whole, it's, you know, going to hit you no matter what, and then it might hit you in the heart, and, you know, it gets around a lot of defenses because of the cause effect reversal. It gets around almost all defenses, really, and there's very few things that can get around it. And then you got the like anti-healing and all that. It's very scary. And then it's got a special effect of where its mana cost is tiny. Like very, very, very low mana cost and all that. It's very, and it's got the damage that scales with how tough the enemy is. These are very, very nice effects and stuff. But a lot of them are unique to Ku's bulg, not just bulg in general. And you know, it's a whole package thing, right? It's a lot of things that make it at the end result it being very dangerous. But it's not like, I don't think Achilles' shield would do anything. The way that works, that wouldn't do shit. Because, you know, again, once you said bulg, if you're in range, your heart's already been pierced. That's just how it works. It's like a curse, right? Your heart is just pierced. And then the visuals are like, as they put it in the visual novel, they're a formality, right? It doesn't really matter anymore. So you can have 30 brick walls in the way, and it just doesn't matter. You're getting a hit. So the way you need some kind of like weird hacks to not get hit by bulg generally. The best way to, and they say this in the character material book off memory, the best way to defend against bulg is 2 things. God Hand, where like you got hit by it and then you live anyway, right? That's like one of the best ways to deal with it. Or just not getting hit by it in the first place, right? Don't let them, like, because you can't dodge it. That's the whole point. Like, there's a lot of people that hear cause effect reversal and they don't understand what it means. And it's because, you know, cause effect is like a cause happens and that cause resulted in a you know, an outcome, right? Like you hit the rock and the rock rolls down the hill, right? What Bolg does is the rock rolls down the hill and then you knocking it over happens. That's why it's so messed up. So it doesn't, blocking the person rolling it down the hill doesn't matter because it already rolled down the fucking hill, right? It's irrelevant. That's like the point of that noble phantasm. So the thing to do is stay out of the range, right? They say this, if you're out of range, he can't do it. And if he never says it and it's never like detects you and never in range, the effect never kicks in, right? Now, yeah, you can also have plot armor. That'll do it too, right? Just miraculously it doesn't hit you in the heart, or they just bullshit some reason that it doesn't work or whatever, right? Obviously, that's everything. That's Aya, that's Excalibur, that you know, plot armor just trumps, you know, everything. So it just is what it is. The thing is though, even if, because this is what people forget, Ortoria got really lucky with the metaphysical, you know, dice roll, but she still would have been fucked. Like, that was not a good thing for her, right? Like, yeah, it was better than getting hit in the heart, but if they had kept fighting, she was done. She was fucked. She couldn't heal the wound anymore, and she had a giant fucking hole in her chest, right? And which obviously hindered her fighting ability. She was in a very bad spot at that point. Because they say this, again, with Bolg, a special effect of Bolg is it's a very, very, very cheap Noble Phantasm to use. And it says he can use it like many times back to back with no support from his master. He could have just Bolged her again, and it would have been easier because now she's wounded, so she can't escape, right? She was fucked up. So he could just Bolged her again, or just fought her head on and she'd have been fucked. The reason she survived there was not because Bolg missed. She survived there because Cody Mine put a command spell on Ku. That's why. But yeah, if he Bolged her again, even if it didn't hit her heart again, she'd have been even more fucked up. Yeah, it's scary because if you get hit in the chest, you're now really vulnerable to getting hit again and your fighting ability's gone down. You might even die if your endurance is low enough. A lot of servants like you know, Dumas and stuff, you know, they're not gonna fucking survive a Noble Phantasm, you know, smack to the chest like that. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, it's pretty scary. And then Scath's is just really different. Scath's doesn't do the cause effect reversal, but it like freezes time in an area. Which obviously makes it very easy for her to just smack you, which is kind of the idea. So it's like the freeze time is better maybe in some circumstances. I kind of wonder how it would work against Bazette. Like, I wonder if the freeze time would just stop Bazette from going back in time like her NP does. Maybe. So she actually might not be able to counter that one. But obviously hers can be defended against in more normal ways because it doesn't have the cause effect reversal. So we have to get an art card. I get so tired of when you have a unit with multiple art cards and then you only have one turn and you just can't get it. It really does suck. Bolg versus Bazette is a really good example of why you generally can't stop Bolg. So Bazette's NP, after the opponent uses their trump card, goes back in time to before the NP was used, and then nukes the person before they use their NP. So they generally, you know, can't use it anymore. And then Bolg hits her anyway. Like, what happens is you use Bolg, right? The cause effect reversal thing's kicked in and basically just said she's been hit in the heart, right? And then she goes back in time and prevents that. So Ku never swings the spear, but it had already, you know, put in her fate. It had already, you know, done that. It hit the heart. So even though Ku doesn't do anything, it just like hits her in the heart anyway. Like, it's kind of funny in the visual novel because, you know, Bazette thinks she's fine and then she just suddenly gets impaled out of nowhere for just like no fucking reason. It's like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's fucked. Like, you can literally go back in time and blast Ku so he can never use Bolg and you get hit anyway. Because like once it's basically like marked you like, oh hey, you get hit by Bolg, it just happens. Like, I'm pretty sure you could teleport to Mars and you would still get impaled, right? It would just still happen anyway. Wait, does my Black Grail have on my let me fix that. What the hell? I must have just misclicked or something. It doesn't actually have to be a heart, but it says it has to be something like similar to a heart. Like if you had like a power source, like you were Iron Man and you replaced your heart with like a, you know, a power block or whatever, that would work. It would still kill that. Or like it has to be like some kind of core, something like similar to a heart, right? Where if they mention like literally a rock right? It won't work on like a literal rock because there's nothing resembling a heart there. Because servants technically have like a, you know, a spiritual core. You know, I've got, what the fuck? I've got K-scope. What you talking about? Now, there are no, I got Scatty with K, no, that's not Black Rail either. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh, it's the ult? Oh, okay, hold on. I'll fix that. I got the ult up. I don't know why the hell. I must have been doing something really stupid. I don't use the ult too often, so it's probably from a while ago. I'm sure there's some dumb reason why. There you go. And he's got his passive, so he doesn't need super scope. Yeah, I imagine if you had multiple hearts, that would probably work too. It'd probably just hit one of them, and if you could keep going, that's fine. Now, if you keep getting bulged over and over, you know, it's eventually going to be a problem, but you're not going to just die to one thing. God Hand is definitely one of the best ways to counter it, though, because you just come back to life. It's like, well, I don't even care about that. Yesterday, you saw in a comment on a level 1 chin with Black Grail when you were looking for K-scope, but it was your own. Wait, oh, I don't even... What are we talking about? Oh, was I talking about like how people didn't have K-scope on? Well, I mean, shame on me for not having it on. Like, I still said the right thing, right? It's still bad, right? It's not less bad just because I did it. I get a slap on her wrist like anybody else. Where the fuck is, there we go. I'm not immune to my own criticism, chat. It doesn't work that way. To be fair, us not getting an animation update is standard now, but it's still incredibly dumb and disappointing. But it's not like we had any expectation because they haven't been doing them. Funnily enough, Okita doesn't have tuberculosis, and I think they even mentioned this at some point. She had it in the past, but as a servant, she does not have tuberculosis. And as such, like, a doctor can't cure it. Because we can deal with tuberculosis now, right? But because she doesn't actually have tuberculosis, a doctor can't fix it. She has a magical effect that, like, mimics tuberculosis. So they can't get rid of it, which is kind of silly, but that is kind of how servants have always worked, though. Generally, their skills and stuff were kind of like a mimic. It's like a magical mimic of what, you know, what their fame was or what their, you know, positives were or negatives were. I don't know about Asclepius, though, has magical stuff. Like, he's more than just a healer now, so maybe he could do it. I don't know. I don't know if they ever mentioned Asclepius or not, because, you know, he's also a servant that is like magical healing, you know, medicine stuff now, so he might be able to. You would think, though, the Grail could get rid of this skill, although maybe she just didn't think of using it that way. But yeah, I would think the Grail could just get rid of the skill off of her Saint Graph. So when she gets summoned again, it's gone. Now, they won't do that because they don't want to permanently change Okita that way, but it's kind of like how Jack wants to essentially change his Saint Graph to be able to know who he was, right? So, like, it really should be able to do it. Especially if it's a not corrupted Grail. Okay, it took so many attempts here. Really, the most accurate bulk I'd actually say is Summer Scaths. I mean, kind of. It's not, like, perfect. They don't really have a one-to-one bulk. Also, bulk changes a bit in the different stories, too. It's not like a universally one-and-done kind of thing. Welcome to all legend and myth, by the way. Now, there is no canon. But Bulg is normally, like, launched from the foot like that, like Summer Scath does it. So that's in many ways the most accurate. Now, it doesn't normally clone itself, and, like, you don't fire, like, you know, a bunch of them like that. But it is normally used that way. But there is no perfectly lore accurate Bulg, and there's no, like, perfectly accurate Bolg even in real myth either. Just like how Zeus and stuff. Look at that, like, didn't quite get it, but at least we're not a million turns off now. I got my skills confused. God damn it. Oh my god, I have to restart. That was a complete whiff. That's not a 3, that's the other skill. I haven't used them in a while, dude. I really thought it was that one. I should have checked. God damn it, dude. That's so dumb. We're getting nowhere with this because we're having to change things. And I'm talking a lot. Coup Alters does do the spike thing, but I don't think Bolg is even like that in every single myth. I'm pretty sure it's not. Hell, actually, Coup doesn't even use Bolg in most myths. This is kind of the problem that people have with mythology. They just view it like modern stuff, and it's just not that way. And this is the example I always give. So, unless I'm mistaken, which I may be, but as far as I'm aware, there's only one known origin story for Medusa. Most stories with Medusa and Gorgon and stuff don't give her an origin story. They just don't bother, right? And so what people do is they'll take the one origin story that, you know, Bob wrote, and they'll just assume, because nothing else contradicts it, that everyone else that used Gorgon in their stories were all using that as their origin, but they're not. And a lot of them don't even know about that story, right? And this happens all of the time. So you'll have like one story about Coup where Coup did X, and then no other story references it or contradicts it. And so then people just act like it's hard canon. It's not. That is not how it works. Like, people are just really bad at understanding how, you know, how different myth and mythology is compared to like modern storytelling. We don't have copyright. We don't have canon, right? It's a lot of word of mouth and just random people making shit up, and what got popular just got popular. And it's like I always say, it's like if every fan fiction was just as canonical as the original work. We don't even know which one the original works are, ever. I don't think there's any instances of us actually knowing, like, the first, you know, hard, absolutely where Zeus started. We have no idea where Zeus started, right? Like the origin is lost to time, right? So you don't know who the fuck is more legit and who isn't. But yeah, that happens a lot with, like, Bolg and all kinds of things where they're just not mentioned a lot. Like, Scath isn't in most stories with Coup, right? Like, and not even close. Most stories with Coup don't reference her, don't mention her, right? And most of the people talking about Coup in those stories probably had no idea about the other stories that had Scath in them, right? It just doesn't work that way. But then, you know, the ones that do, for some reason, people try to make like a universal thing out of them. It's kind of weird. HPaz, thank you for the 25 months, dude. I appreciate it. But yeah, I wish they would do proper Berserker Coup. I mean, he's canon. They even mentioned him somewhat recently. Like, Coup Alter's last interlude mentions regular Berserker Coup, and like Coup Alter's like, fuck that guy. I don't ever want to see, you know, that guy. You think I'm scary? He's like, he's way worse. But yeah, they've mentioned him a few times, but I don't know if the reason I don't think they're gonna do it is because he's a Berserker. And they don't like the reason you've got so many Saber or Artorias that are Sabers is because they already existed, right? You already had Artoria, you already had Artoria Alter, you already had Saber Lily, right? So they were like obligated to put them in. I think they're just gonna, if they're gonna do Coup again, they're gonna find a reason to make it like Rider Coup, or, you know, some other crap, right? I just don't think they're gonna do another just vanilla Berserker Coup, even though Coup Alter is not actually, you know, Berserker Coup. But yeah, I just don't think they'll bother. I don't know though. That last interlude was weird because it was almost like inviting you to be like, oh man, I want to see this Berserker Coup guy. I want to see the actual Berserker Coup, right? It was just really weird that they brought it up, right? Where a lot of people would have forgotten about it. A lot of people had kind of just thought like Coup Alter was Berserker Coup and shit like that. So it's kind of weird that they brought it up if they didn't want to do something with it. But I don't know. Guess we'll see. It'd be nice if they did it. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah, to Alter Ego. I could totally see them doing that at this point. Yep. No, we don't get regular Jacques Demoli now. So lame, dude. He had a picture Like for the auto command codes you got in the arcade event. That he was like a command code in that event, essentially. That's you had that and like Noah and stuff. Let's see what we get here. I like how we're exactly at 10% again. No different than before. You know, I kind of need to kill Darius, though. Like, I need 2 of these to die when I NP. I mean, I could... Oh, that's a problem. I didn't think that one through. I mean, just crit forehead? Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. I mean, I can NP him and then do this and leave Ivan, but that's pretty... That's pretty bad, too. I mean, I gotta hit her. I don't think I have a choice. I mean, I could have definitely... Oh, wow. Well, that was more damage than I was thinking. Okay, so now I can just kill Darius here. Guess that works out then. I'm gonna do this because I think I have time to get these back. I don't know, this might be crazy overkill though. You think Vlad will get a 5th buff? Not soon. Maybe someday way down the road, but I don't think he'd get it anytime soon. I think Sita might get added someday. Like, maybe. Especially if Arcade shuts down. I actually think that'd be one of the best things for FGO when it comes to that kind of stuff, is if Arcade in service. Although then they might make a console version like Gundam vs. Gundam does. Like, Gundam vs. Gundam normally makes a console version way after the arcade version dies off. They might do the same. And then they might not do it. So, I don't know. We'll see. They may not bother, though. I'm not sure. 93%. That's unfortunate. Also, we're gonna need the heal boost and heal command code. There's like no way we're gonna do this without. Because Karna had it and he definitely needed it. We were really pushed. It's all about living, and they're doing surprisingly good damage though. Did she ever cast that? Like ever? Even against Percival? And I don't remember her ever doing that. I think out of all these runs, I think that might be the first time that ever happened. I don't think we have a defense removal man code here. I don't think Artoria would change in any way. And I think she already did become a proper heroic spirit. It's kind of implied, like, where she is, like, where she is in FGO is in between Fate Stay Night and the true ending. And like that anime opening thing they did actually really shows that as well. Like, she's basically after Fate Stay Night, like after the Fate route, she gets added to the Throne of Heroes. And then I'm pretty sure she gets removed from it in the true ending, but that hasn't happened yet, if that makes any sense. Which is really stupid because the Throne of Heroes is outside of space-time, but that's never stopped them. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she is a normal heroic spirit in FGO. I'm pretty sure that happens after Fate Stay Night. Yeah, we need the heal command code. Well, see, again, you have to be delusional to not see what I'm saying here. There is nothing about them that is any different than Karna. This can absolutely happen to Karna, where you just don't, you know, you just get bodied by the normal card damage and you die. There's nothing in his kit that prevents that. He doesn't have guts. He doesn't have defense up. He doesn't have crit down, right? He's not doing anything that prevents any of this. It just coincidentally didn't happen to him. Karna just got higher luck, I'm pretty sure. Like, we could just die here. Like literally, if she crits us or busters a lot, we're dead. Well, we're not dead yet. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to evade. And then I can evade again. Okay, we might be able to make this work. I don't think I NP. There's no reason to. Also, these command codes are so much worse than what Karna had. It's not even close. But I think that's because these are like just what they had on, like just generically. I don't think these are like tailor-picked by Ace. Because Ace doesn't want to use the command code UI, and I completely understand that. So I think if you time it where they're already broke there, she'll actually remove this damage resist and then get the defense down, and I could just kill them. So I broke one turn too slow there. Can I kill anyway? That's just what they had on. Yeah, I kind of figured. Yeah, if they had better command codes, they could win though. They might be able to win anyway, not quite, but with better command, oh shit, maybe they are gonna get it. Oh damn, how about that? That was very close though. But with better command codes, they could have done that a bit smoother. That's kind of what I'm talking about. This stage ultimately is not like that hard to solo. You can't be a joke unit. You have to be a solid, prepared, proper unit, right? And then you can do it. But that's why Ku had like 4 to 5 turns of value left over, because it's not actually that bad. It's not easy either though. It's kind of like an intermediate, right? You got to be like, you got to have some chops on you, right? Like you got to be like Scath, you know, like kind of like that. Like a piece of shit is not going to solo it, but you don't need to be like some god tier unit to be able to solo this stage. Chat's just not having it. Let's try out Medusa. That's you know, she's new and fancy. Why not? Chat, I haven't used so many of the new units in Arknights. I need to do that. Like, what's her name? Fire Whistle or something. We haven't used her, and like a lot of that new stuff. The new welfare, haven't used that. I want to play Arknights. It's just I wanted to do these anniversary stages. They've actually been fun. You know, they're not god tier or anything. These aren't, you know, anniversary Gwen or anything, but they were more fun than I thought they would be. I'll have to make a video for like Dagon or the baby or something. I could make another, you know, 2-10-2 meme video, but I don't think I need to. I think the videos I have kind of get the point across. Although the one like Jolter video I have is like really low quality. It's like from years and years ago, so maybe I should do one more at some point. But that fight's not like that great. Heal boost on quick. What is going on? What? That has to be a glitch. I have no idea what that was. Indie developer, please understand. I think it's gone now. I don't know what the hell that was. I'll never forget that one glitch where Okita and Musashi fused. That was something. That was a hell of an experience there. Well, if she does that defense up again, I could bring defense removal, but I don't think she does it that often. I don't know if I want to bother. I could do crit down, because getting crit's really bad. Can I do a command code that makes the enemy less likely to do a buster attack? Because that's actually what you want here. Wait, I did not get rid of that voice. What the fuck? I didn't do that. Hold on. They might. I wonder if they got rid of it, or if I. Huh. 1 second. Let me see what's going on. Is it just stupid expensive or something? Or is it just gone? Because I don't remember doing anything with like what was available. And Cairo is the one that posted it, so maybe Cairo did something with it. Nani? Because it's his emote or sound thing. Yeah, I don't see it on here. I didn't do that. Yeah, I see the honey one. I wonder if I removed it on accident. I don't think so. You have to do something pretty specific to remove it. Fuck. I need to get it again. The problem is, I don't know what Cairo called it. And I don't know if there's a way I can search like Kairos stuff specifically. Let me see if I can like look
Honey
at...
to
yeah,
me,
there's that one.
honey to me.
No, no,
Poison to
stop.
you,
Stop,
poison to
chat.
you.
No, no, no. Let me see if I go to that one, if I can find like if it links back to Kairos stuff. Their UI is so bad. I cannot stand this website's UI. It's so hard to do anything. I can block user, but I can't actually look at the user. I cannot. I've gotten to Kairos page before, but I cannot find it to save my life here. I can go through our history and try to find the last time someone used it. But maybe it won't show it if it's gone? I don't know what the hell's happening here. I'm actually confused here. I should really show this on stream. Okay, there's honey. Oh, okay, there it is. I see it. Trying to add it. Oh, actually, Omega Beast is the one that had posted it. Let me see if that put it back in here. Okay, it is back. I don't know. I mean, I'll make it slightly cheaper again. I'm not gonna make it that cheap, but I don't know what happened. I did not do anything to remove it. I have no fucking idea what happened.
Honey to me.
So, why would you do that? Oh wow. Actually, you got the cheaper cost. How did you do that? How did you do that? Oh no, that was the other one.
Honey,
okay, no, that's the
me.
other one. That's the other one.
Poison,
Chat,
poison
you don't
to
understand
you.
how fucked that was because it's still set to the more expensive one, and I was saying I was making it cheaper, right? And then I thought someone had done
hallucinating?
it before I made it cheaper. Okay, this is clearly
Honey
too
to
cheap.
me.
No, no, chat.
Poison to you.
No, no, don't make me add a 0. Okay, here's what I'm not gonna add a 0, but I'm still gonna make these more expensive.
Honey to me. Poison to you.
Okay, chat. You've had your fun. Now I gotta make it more expensive, and then you fucker. Look at this. Look at you. Look at these people spending 9,000 channel points. Anyway, all right. So we got heal boost, heal, damage. What else is good? I might need to just bring crit down. I don't know.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
Honey
You're
to
not
me.
that
Chat,
guy.
you're about to have your
Poison
toys taken
to
away.
you.
You're about to have your toys taken away.
Honey to
When you're
me.
just brainlessly spamming it.
Poison to you.
Oh god, the goofy emote is way too cheap. I'm gonna just take that up right now. Chat, don't make me add zeros. I'll do it. All right, what am I adding here? Saving my points for Silver Ash level up. I mean, he might get picked someday. I'm still so mad that you guys picked Golden Glow, dude, instead of what's his name? I know what he looks like. Swing your hammers. What is his name? Why don't I know his name? As soon as I see his name, I'm gonna remember it. I know his voice lines. Stainless. That's the one. I don't know why I could not remember that. I was not going to remember that either, by the way. But I'm getting old, man. And she won by like 1 vote, dude. It's so dumb. Dude, I even waited a while. We posted on the Discord a bunch, but yeah, a lot of the regulars missed it. I tried really hard to get everyone in here. Yeah, we set it so like you could spend channel points that vote again. And funnily enough, good old Shooting Star Max, one of the, you know, more awesome viewers out there, biasm, by the way. Nepotism or whatever. I don't know, nepotism's not right. I don't know what the word for that is. Anyway, they spent the most channel points and they spent them on Stainless, but Stainless lost anyway. It was so dumb. I was so mad, dude. Favoritism, that's probably it. That's probably the simple one there. Look, they have god tier taste. Like holy shit. Anytime I see anything from Max, pictures, support lists in different games, anything, they always just have amazing taste, right? Their base and Arknights, all of it. They just always have god tier taste, and their account review was like next level. And then, so yeah, they're awesome, so. Why would anyone be removed from the garbage account? What the fuck? I don't know what to use here, though. I don't think she really needs Merlin. Like, I think her gain is good enough. She's not gonna need it. So maybe we just do crit down or something. Either that or more damage. Crit down is nice in case you... Because if you get crit, you're gonna lose, like, a turn faster, if not more.
Hello!
Hello! Oh, hi. Allergies, excuse me. Hi, it's me. Inti. Last one. I guess Star Bomb. Man, that took a minute. Oh man, we're gonna have to deal with stun RNG though. She's already slotted, I think. Just gotta give her a proper CE. That was an event CE a while ago, but we don't need it now. This account needs to level this higher. Pretty nice. You know, Bart sucks on a normal team. It's not gonna do anything. Well, I don't know if it sucks, but he's pretty whatever. Even with his buff, it doesn't really matter. And it literally says on the rules that if a unit gets buffed, it's not gonna change their standing. That's just stupid, because they just run out of units. They're not gonna add new bad units, so I mean, what the fuck? Like, I don't think people understand how bad those accounts are, because let's say they buffed the hell out of Black Bart to the point he's like almost as good as David or something. You're still working with just dog shit, right? That's why we allowed Billy, because like the account basically wouldn't function if it didn't have something like in that power range, right? But Billy's nothing crazy, right? And then all these other things are just crap, right? So it's like, wow, you can use like Alex, yeah, that's Ushi, right? Like, no, like there's not like, look at how limited that roster is. It is so bad, right? Like, even if Sanson becomes like really good, it's not gonna matter that much. Like, you don't get Hans. Like, you don't get fucking Hans, right? Like, you're missing so many basic bitch things that you're, like, that account has been an absolute nightmare. I mean, I love it. It's been super fun to play, and I've enjoyed the hell out of it. But, like, I don't think Lion King has ever been harder. Like, that was so fucking hard, dude. Like, Fuyuki was hard, for God's sake. So that's because of the really unique conditions going on there, but... Yeah, they might add some... How am I not getting myself? I just logged in. Don't make me do this again, game. The hardest Lion King has ever been was either the Garbo in a co-op account, or it was the 1 to 3 star account that had to use 1 to 3 star craft essences as well, because it was very underprepared, and 3-star craft essences are so shit. That was very hard too. It's one of the two. The co-op account might have been harder if I was less experienced, because I'm obviously more experienced now, because I've done the 1 to 3 star account and stuff like that. I've learned some things along the way, and that did influence the way I approached it. It was kind of interesting though that me and Cairo did not approach that stage in the same way. There's been a few bosses where we ended up doing them differently, but we were pretty constantly talking to each other and trying to come up with the best strategies, like for Gwen and stuff. Dude, I had so much fun with that. I'm so annoyed that Cairo hasn't been playing it, because I love it, and I want to fight Lee. That's gonna be awesome, right? Like, I'm trying to come up with strategies for that and look for like ways. Like, I really want to do more. What might happen if they add, because here's the thing, if they add story replay, we can do it, right? Because the main reason Cairo doesn't want to do it is because he doesn't want to farm any. But like, I haven't been farming it really either, but because these are the units that are allowed, right? And the rules don't change. If they add story replay, we can just go back where we left off, right? And we just allow these units again. Because I think we just got to the point where we're not level capped anymore, I think. Because we beat Guadia and all that, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just... The fact that like our mains I think if we'd have to level a few that might be grailed or whatever. I can't remember what the grail rules are. Let's look here. Cairo and Green will cooperate to clear the FGO main story, each playing an account using the following rules, and may not add friend supports other than each other. That's a huge part of it, by the way. That's massive. Only the listed servants may be used. This includes supports and farming. Force supports are expected. Servants will not be removed from the list if they are buffed. However, newly released servants may be added if agreed upon. Servants are restricted to around 10 levels. Yeah, we say around because people can super success. Servants are restricted to around 10 levels per 1.0 main story singularity. Slight overleveling due to super success multipliers will not be restricted to a servant from being used. So basically, you know, in Fuyuki, you're level 1. In Septum, you're level 10. And no, Orleans, you're level 10. Septum, you're level 20, right? It was that kind of thing. Rails and command spells may not be used until Solomon chapter is cleared. That, if I remember correctly, we didn't even say we were going to allow them, but we weren't really sure. I know we said we were going to allow grails. I don't remember actually. We didn't really. We weren't sure what we wanted to do with command spells. But yeah, I do remember we said grails weren't allowed until we beat Solomon. Revives may not be used. Command spell revives may be agreed to be used per attempt against Fluffy. Yeah, I remember we said that. Like Fluffy, it might be just we might need to revive. Yeah, I guess command spells are fine if you're not allowed to revive with them, because reviving with command spells is way stronger than just using them. Limited CEs may not be used, yeah, obviously, unless they are obtained through an event or bought with mana prisms, rare prisms. Permanent and event welfare CEs are not restricted. Event reward servants will be usable when made re-obtainable in the future, right? Which very few of them are, but actually, I guess more are now. Fuck, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Very few welfares are even on here, so it doesn't really matter. No purchasing SQ, of course. Yeah, that's pretty. I love these restrictions. So these were great. This was made a very fun gameplay experience. And if they added story replay, what you could do is have like someone you trust to make like make fun decisions. Is you could like mix it up every once in a while, like rebalance these, right? So let's say Ace makes it for the stream or whatever, and you pick new servants, and so you mix in maybe a few things that are good and a few like unique picks. So like Ace is like, okay, for this season, if you will, we'll allow like this wacky gold servant that's kind of good but nothing crazy, right? And that's going to be like an MVP for this season because everything else is going to be so dog shit, right? But you can kind of like get creative with what's allowed, intentionally allowing some kind of okay things, get kind of spicy with it. Like, wow, maybe Hans is allowed one time, right? Things like that. Story replay would allow you to really have some fun like that with like rule sets and whatnot. But because we don't have story replay, I like how oh my god, I didn't realize that Hex added a battery to fucking Jekyll and Hyde, dude. Oh my god, that's actually amazing. Anyway, but yeah, Cairo hasn't been wanting to play it, so we haven't done it in a while. But hopefully someday. I'm sure if Cairo's chat just bugs him, he'll do it, right? If his chat's like, Mr. Streamer, please play Epic of Remnant #1 on the garbage account, he'll do it. Like, and he can already beat it. Like, I beat it without farming. He can fucking beat it, right? Like, I just rolled into Epic of Remnant after Solomon, and I won, right? Yeah, it took some effort, right? There were some problems along the way, but it worked out. So he doesn't need a farm. He can literally just boot it up and go do it, and he can win. So yeah, just give him the puppy dog eyes. Oh my god, chat. So today, you just saying puppy dog eyes reminded me of this. So today, we were working on like outdoors. We were like tearing down an old fence, and just doing manual labor outside, right? Like in the backyard. And 2 houses down, they're and because we're like redoing like the fence in our yard, there's no fence here, right? And our one immediate neighbor doesn't have a fence, and then the next neighbor over, they have a fence, right? And so we're sitting here, we're working or banging hammers and all this kind of stuff, so we're making some noise, right? We start hearing like a dog whine, right? Like it really wants attention, right? And then we see a dog like trying to like dig under the fence. And then we see a dog sticking its head out under the fence, but it can't get through. And it's like whining for attention, right? And then eventually this dog gets through the fence. And this dog comes running over. Now, like, I was with Tusk and my brother, and I don't think they really like know how to deal with dogs, but I'm fine with dogs, right? But this is one hell of an energetic dog, and he's a pretty big boy, right? It's a pretty big dog, and he was just beyond like energetic, and I'm guessing he just he had like no attention all day or something like that. You know, he was like really wanting to get out. So this dog's running over and like wanting to play fight and wanting to, you know, jump around and stuff. And so like, I'm like, okay, I'll keep the dog busy because, you know, I'm fine with dogs. So, you know, I'm petting him and, you know, playing with him. And Tusk goes over to the neighbor's house to let them know their dog got out, right? And they don't answer. And then like one of the people in the neighborhood is like, I think that dog is actually the neighbor like one more street down. They're just like friends or something with that neighbor. And like they were keeping the dog there for a while or something. So then Tusk knocks on that door. They don't answer either. And then the dog's like running around and like, you know, it's hard for me to keep a hold of him because I wasn't thinking of like, you know, pinning him down to the floor or anything. But then he fucking runs off. He's wanting to explore like and shit. And I'm like, oh fuck. Now at first he just like ran into a different neighbor's yard, and I didn't want to like trespass or anything, so I just keep an eye on him. Right, and he's just like sniffing around and stuff. But then he just like goes down the street and he like runs into the street, and I'm like, oh shit. So I start like really running after him. But he's like really running around. And at this point, I'm, you know, I've told them, you know, try to, you know, for the love of God, try to find this dog's owner. Because, you know, I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to do anything to get into trouble or anything. But I don't want this dog getting hit by a goddamn car. Now, thankfully, I caught up to the damn dog before I got hit by a car or anything. But, you know, he was getting into some pretty dangerous spots. Because I lost sight of him for a second, so I was super worried. I completely lost sight of him. But thankfully, I saw him again, and I caught up to him. And thankfully, I think he'd like trusted me at this point because, you know, we were like playing and stuff. So he didn't like, you know, freak out with me or anything. But I had to make sure, for the love of God, he didn't run off again. So I had to like grab him by the collar and like I had to get him into like my front yard, which has like a proper fence and a gate. So then I closed it so he couldn't get out until we could, you know, could find his owner. And I felt bad because I had to like manhandle him a little bit, but thankfully he didn't get. I could tell he didn't get mad or anything. I think he thought it was like playing or something. But anyway, I had to fucking manhandle the dog and get him in the front yard. And then thankfully after a while, we finally got a hold of his owner, and he came over and got him, and he was really grateful and everything. But I was really scared, man, because he just started running into the street for fuck's sakes, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, no. But yeah, he was such a handful, dude. He was a big fucking dog. Thankfully, he was a good boy. Like he was crazy energetic, but like, you know, he didn't like actually bite me. He kind of like nip at me, but he wouldn't like, you know, bite at all, and he was just like messing around. But he was a good boy. But holy shit, I was so worried, dude, when he ran out like that. I was like, holy fuck. But yeah, thank goodness nothing happened. But yeah, that was an experience today. That was keeping that dog in check was harder than all the manual labor I did. Like no joke. It was wild. But yeah, thankfully happy ending. It was funny though that I could tell is because dogs have crazy good smell. When I didn't see the owner yet, like coming down the sidewalk, but the dog knew before I did because I could tell he like smelled him because like he was like sitting. I got him to finally sit down and like just, you know, calm down. I was just holding him by the collar. So he was just, you know, sitting there, and, you know, I was petting him. But then he like stood up and like started looking in a direction, like he was like sitting there like staring. And it's because his owner was coming that way, and he could smell him from a ways away. So that was pretty impressive. So I think the dog's name was Lobo. I couldn't quite tell, but when the owner like saw him, he said his name a few times, and I think he said his name was Lobo. I couldn't quite tell, but I think that's what he said. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his name. What's the owner headless? No. All right, let's see here. So you got to kill her first, just like before. I'm pretty sure that's the route. I have not maxed out her passive, unfortunately. Man, Ace, you must be... Like, what's happening? Give me a status report here, because you don't seem to have a lot of coins for, like, any of your favorite characters. So did you, like, get them, like, before the coin system? And it's, like, really awkward trying to get them again? Is that kind of where you're at? Because that sucks when that happens. I know what that's like. And like, so how much are you wanting to roll on them if they got rated up again and stuff like that? Like your various characters and stuff. I don't bond farm much, and I focus on getting their passive skills. So yeah, I guess 120 is going to be a real problem then, huh? Do I art chain or quick art? She's got really good NP gain, but 20% is pretty nice. So 20% puts us at 84. I don't know if she's gonna get it. And if she's not gonna get it, I should just battery right now to save the cooldown. But I guess I'll have some faith here, see what happens. The fact that you have to go past NP5, and it's managed decline. That's why they're doing it. That's why the coin system exists. Is they're trying to get people to whale more. Because they have less people spending money on the game, so they want to get more out of them. And it works. Dude, there's no way all the big streamers and even the non-streamers are just big whales and stuff. They're fucking going for like NP7. Yeah, I'm sure, I haven't watched, but I'm so sure there's people going for like NP7 and NP8 of Morgan Lily. There's no way that hasn't been this shit works. It's so stupid, dude. Like, 'cause I remember when Morgan got her second rate up, and because people had seen her in the story and they wanted her, and then when Oberyn came out, there's so many people were rolling past NP5. Like, so many fucking people. Okay, I got my NP. You probably NP Ivan then. Do I need to yeah, I do. I didn't get that's right, the twins actually had they actually killed because they didn't have their NP yet. So I think we stun Darius. Boy, I don't know if we're gonna have the damage for this though. I guess I rainbow chain to go pure damage here. If she crits, I'm sure she's got it. If she doesn't, we don't. Because the thing is, most people didn't want to NP, like most like normies didn't want to NP5 a 5-star anyway. They'd go for NP2 or 3, right? And now NP2 and 3 doesn't go nearly as far as it did. I've never played Honkai Impact because it's an all-female cast, and that just doesn't really interest me. I've heard the gameplay's decent, which that's cool, but yeah, I really just, if it doesn't have any dudes in it, I'm probably not gonna play it. Unless it's like, you know, like it's a cast of like 3 characters, right? Then it's fine. But if you got like this wide sprawling game and you've come up with some stupid reason why the entire cast is all female, I'm probably not going to play it. Unless it's like the best gameplay on the goddamn planet. Wow, this sucks. This really sucks. I guess I can NP again. Not a great use of the battery though. I think I quick. Damn, I was hoping to get more than that, but I have played Star Rail. It's good for a while. Like, the initial story experience is very fun, right? I mean, it's got some filler, and you know, it's not the best thing ever, but like, if you boot up the game, and I really recommend you don't watch guides and all that. You just play the game, have fun, right? As you do like the initial playthrough and like the initial checkpoints where like you hit like landmarks of like beating the big boss fights, and they call like Echo of War, and like getting strong enough to do the roguelike, and like, when you initially beat like World 3, 4, and 5. Very fun, honestly. Like, the initial playthrough of the roguelike is very, very fun. Like, when you first fight Kafka, right, in like World 5, right? Very fun, very fun. And when you first do like the big boss fight with the mama, right, for the Echo of War and all that, it's all very fun. Once you run out of the initial story content and like those initial roguelike clears, and you just start farming, you just start outpacing the game so much that it gets a lot boringer. It becomes like Genshin. I'm sure people that played Genshin know what I'm talking about, right? When you get to the point where most of the content's a joke, and whatever content isn't a joke is just like gear checky, you know, time limity, you know, stuff that's not really, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But that initial playthrough is very fun. That initial experience of like playing the first few planets, right? And I legitimately liked the story on the snow planet. It was, you know, not paced the best, right? It had some like wonky dialogue and, you know, filler bits that didn't need to be there. But like, and then you do the side story with what's her name, a guitar lady, Serval, I think that's it. That was a great side quest. That was my favorite part of like the story in the game. Her side quest was really, really good. So like that initial stuff is very enjoyable, and then after that it may not hold your attention, but it's free, right? You can play that initial experience and have a good time with it, and then if you want to keep playing it, you can, and if you want to put it down and be like, okay, I'm done with the game now, totally fine, right? It's kind of like Epic 7 and like back in the day, because Epic 7 is not as good anymore for the initial playthrough. But yeah, I think you could try it out. I don't think you're going to regret it. You know, it's free. I think it's a very good free-to-play experience as well. Like the free-to-play characters are fine. And like I had a lot of fun, chat, in those early days where you were kind of like meeting those early landmarks of like beating World 3, beating World 4, you know, doing the main story, doing the Echoes of War, and then doing World 5 and I think 6, right? But then, you know, after you kind of get stuck and you're like time gated and all that, and then you start like farming, you just start outpacing everything, and it gets really boring, which sucks. You know, we'll see if they address that. I don't think they will. I think it's gonna have the exact same problems Genshin does, because they're actually trying too hard to be like Genshin, and I think that is absolutely to that game's detriment. And I've seen this happen with a lot of devs. This is a very common thing that happens, especially with larger devs. It's harder for like a creative lead to have a lot of control, and people want to make safe plays and stick to like formulas that they know work and stuff. So I think the Genshin devs have misidentified why Genshin was so popular, very much so. And I think this is easy to see, because Star Rail is copying Genshin on everything. The way gear works, the way, like, every way you progress, everything about the game is just like Genshin, except it's a turn-based game, right? Like, they're copying it so much, and I think that's a mistake. I think a lot of the systems that they're copy-pasting were not popular in Genshin, and they're not popular in Star Rail. They're just doing it because it's safe. I don't think they even quite understand why Genshin is so popular, so they're just trying to make lightning strike twice. Because I think Genshin is popular because people like the art style, they like the open world to explore, they like the characters, right? They like all these different like Unix synergies and that kind of stuff. I don't think people give a fuck about like the way the farming works. I don't think they give a fuck about the way the gear works. I don't think they care about adventure level, any of that stuff. I think people like the world, the story, the idea, like almost the idea of Genshin, less so of the way it's executed. I think people don't like the way it's executed in a lot of ways. They put up with it, right? I don't think they actually like it. And I think Star Rail, they're just misidentifying the point, right? Now, I think they still have a world. I actually like Star Rail's world more than Genshin. I was surprised that I liked it so much. I didn't think I would. I legitimately like the universe. It's interesting. Now, their character designs can be a little hit or miss, just like Genshin's are for me. But Star Rail is just like atmosphere and the planets and everything. I really liked it. I liked it way more than I thought. And I want more of it. My whole problem is Star Rail doesn't give me what I want anymore. Because it's so easy now. And it's so farmy now. And it's just so, like, it's lost a lot of its charm because it's so Genshin-like. Right? If the game was just harder again as I played through it, I'd be enjoying it a lot more. I just want more landmarks. And I was enjoying the roguelike and the Echoes of War and that I liked it. It was good, but they stopped making it matter. So yeah, music was phenomenal. I was very biased against Star Rail because it had a lot of signs that it was gonna be like Genshin in ways that I didn't like, and it was. But I ended up enjoying it anyway. But I don't know how much I'm gonna play it in the long run, because it's just Genshin again, right? It has so many, you know, problems that like Epic 7 and Genshin both have. They just did not mix up the formula any, and I don't think that's a very good formula, to be honest. Like, obviously the characters and the world and the music, that formula is fine and is working for them rather well. I think it's carrying them. All right, I want the heal boost. Crit down doesn't really matter. Stars matter. We'll do that. And what's messed up is you can have some degree of farming and stuff, and you make the farming more like FGO, where you have like a more tangible power curve from more set in-game. That's where FGO actually does do a better job, is FGO has a clear in-game stat line, so they can design bosses and new main story with that in mind, and it's no problem. Genshin and Star Rail can't do that. And it's because they just want you grinding forever. You don't need people grinding forever. And also, people won't grind forever. Most people aren't going to farm like the whales and the streamers do. They're not going to just sit there doing it over and over for weeks and weeks. They're not. They're going to get bored, right? Some degree of farming is fine. It just gives people something to do while they're waiting for an update. But you don't need to farm that much, right? Like, you can dial it in and not have this ridiculous, gear progression like they have, like infinite gear progression. You don't need that. Right, just some like basic activities, and like the roguelike was a really good idea. That's like that kind of stuff is all you really need. But yeah, they've really fucked it up, and they're gonna have to get burned to learn though, because Star Rail is very financially successful. Again, though, I don't think it's because of a lot of those systems. It's because of the characters and the music, the story, and all that kind of stuff. But they're gonna have to get burned at some point to realize they need to adjust some of these systems. Otherwise, I think they're gonna copy paste them forever. Well, I need this heal boost, so. Dude, I love that dino dance. That's so good with this music. That's great. Yeah, once you get to the point where you just log in and log out, that is what I'm talking about. Karna is not gonna survive that shit, right? Like, she is way better than Karna, like with having all these extra stunts and survivability stuff. And look at that, right? We are so fucked because, shut up, chat. Like, I'm right. That just never happened to Karna, dude. God, dude, that's so silly. We're in a lot of trouble here. Well, I can heal, boost, heal again, but I wonder if I want to not break. I mean, I'll probably die. I need to break and try to NP or something. Shit, that needed to break. Oh crap. I should have done Buster last and stuff. Luck is a skill. It is a stat. Ace, what's your video? I want to see. Did you do any shenanigans? If we stun here, we win. If we don't, we're probably dead. Let me think. I guess I can do the crit down too. Try to do everything I can to maximize survivability. So I have a stun chance that can save me, and then if she's really stupid, I could live that way too. By the way, Karna would have died here. There's nothing he could do about this either. I'm guessing Karna didn't get bodied on a turn like that, though. Except for like maybe the turn right before the end. That's like the only time you could do it. Of course, dude. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. And we win after that. Like, we super hard win after that, too. Like, if it wasn't for that one turn where she just completely obliterated our health bar, we'd been fine. Because she's a better solo unit than the twins, I would say, in pretty much every way. It's just bad luck. You bastards. Well, I swear, if I use Karna again and then he doesn't get bodied like that, like he never has a turn where he just gets flattened, I'm gonna be so annoyed. We should try Burgess at some point. You know, Landling would be interesting. Canis, we could do that. We need a maybe mine because yours might be too strong. What is this? What? I guess it's for the farming though. I mean, fair enough. Trying to prevent us from trying again. All right, we'll do Canis. That's kind of a fun one. She is good. I know. I summon her all the. Anytime I farm on my ult account, I always summon her. Like whenever my ult needs to do the bleached earth quests. I need to use Canis more. I don't even know why I don't. Canis is pretty cool. Let's see. What does she want for this, though? Rainbow chains are so awkward for her. It's actually crazy. I kind of want to do Star Bomb on a Buster in case I don't Rainbow Chain. I don't know. You almost got me, Poi. Holy shit. Honestly, good job, Poi. That was, you have no idea. I almost started reading that out. Oh my god. And I was actually thinking, and then my brain went to like, is this some kind of golden sumo jab? Like, what the hell? That was so close. That's the closest you guys have gotten in a while. That was super close. Like, I really had to catch myself on that one. Good try, boy. I'll give you a thumbs up for effort on that one. The question was the demon here, right? Because I got away with it twice, not that long ago actually. It was like 2 in a row, but I got away with it because he wasn't here. That was a good day, chat. That was a satisfying victory. I don't know, I might have gotten away with it there. That'd have been amazing. Can you imagine? Huh. What do I want to go with? I mean, damage is nice because she can bruise her through bars that you normally wouldn't. But at the same time, I might need like Star Bomb on Buster or crit down. I don't know. I think we'll just go Bruiser. I have absolutely said it when you all aren't around. And there was one time I said it when I was like playing Gundam or something with Poi and Cairo, and I was kind of just talking about the whole situation and like, you know, the whole deal. And then Cairo reported me to the police. It was stupid. That little shit. What's your opinion? Man, I wish you were here earlier. We were really deep diving that, and I really wanted, like, you to, because you would know about some of the things I was talking about. I don't know if I want to, like, we deep dived quite a bit there. You know, basically, if the enemy doesn't have evade, the buff does almost nothing. The cooldown reduction is nice though, and overall, it's probably the best thing about the buff. But if the enemy doesn't have evade, you would still never want to use them. And like the debuff immunity obviously is not enough, because if you're fighting Fluffy, oh great, he's immune to the debuffs, but now you're using William Tell against Fluffy and he's useless there, so who cares that he's debuff immune? He's just a dead slot. And I'm curious about your opinion on this, but in my time using William Tell, I have seen this many times. And this buff addresses this a little bit, but it's still a problem. It's like less of a problem, but it's still absolutely a problem. Because I'm sure you know this. Most bosses either don't have evade or they're scripted to use evade at a very specific, you know, health threshold, and you'll never hit that health threshold. And if you do, it's bad, because like it's because you left them at like, you know, low HP, right? Like a lot of bosses don't evade unless they're low on HP, and you take them from higher HP to like dead, like the bar's broken, and then what will happen is you get them to, let's say, 25% HP, 30% HP, and they do evade, but then, like, Billy the Kid could break the bar. You don't need the evade bonus damage. Because I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Maybe this hasn't happened for you, but it does for me all the time, where, like, you finally get the boss to evade. Hi, Cairo. You finally get the boss to evade, but their health is so low that the bonus damage is irrelevant. And most bosses are scripted to just be that way, right? Now, his buff helps, because now you can break that bar and then, you know, get the tracking thing from the prior evade and then get bonus damage for the next HP bar where they're not evading, right? However, this is still a pretty niche on a niche thing, right? Like, William Tell is very situational still. And like, this buff won't even kick in all the time, right? Like, it just, I don't know. I feel like he's still really only good if the boss is evading a lot, like maybe like Lobo, but then they're a Saber or a Berserker or maybe an Assassin because of his passive, right? So they've got to be an Assassin, Saber, or Berserker, and then they need to evade more than just when they're low on HP, because then you can normally deal with it anyway. Now, there's some bosses, and this could happen. They might add some crazy Saber boss down the road. It's like a fluffy tier boss, right? And they've got a lot of HP, and they got damage resist. And so when they evade at like 30% HP, then that bonus damage from Tell is actually nice for once, right? It could happen. But I think William Tell is still very situational. People like to act like his debuff immunity is awesome, but it really isn't, because almost every time debuffs are a problem, you don't need a fucking archer. Or if you do, you need one that's not William Tell, because like Fluffy doesn't evade. Fluffy does also so much damage that you need survivability. Like, William Tell, it really shows how meh he is because he's not good for Fluffy. That fight, archers are fine. Art is massively incentivized because of the free Castoria, right? Debuffs are a massive problem, and he has debuff immunity, and he's still not good for that fight. That clearly shows the problem, and his buff does not change that at all. There's no effect on it whatsoever. But it is at least nice that, like, if you blow up a health bar where the boss evaded and you didn't even need the bonus damage, you can use the buff to keep the bonus damage for another NP later. That is legitimately good. That's not like a consistency thing. That is a peak value thing, right? That is nice. And it's cool. I'll say this, it's cool. It's a fun thing. And so in a way, I'm actually happy with the buff. He just needs a different buff on top of that, right? Like, this buff alone doesn't really do it. But if, let's say they gave him another buff and like his debuff immunity is now team wide, okay? Like, now we're getting somewhere, right? Or maybe they give him an upgraded NP and it has like stars per turn after or something. There's a lot of things you could do that would combo with this buff to then, okay, now we got, you know, a really good unit. Cairo, play the fucking co-op account. You don't even need to farm. I literally did Epic of Remnant #1 without farming. Just go do it, you bastard. It's the best account. I want to play it more. I'm dying over here. And like, my chat asked me to play it all of the time, and I'm like, I can't because Cairo hasn't done it yet. Yeah, and see, here's the thing, and I know because Dechi uses William Tell a lot. I'm sure you felt this. It's like you're strong arming it, right? Like, you grail him and you do all this stuff because he's so meh 90% of the time that you need that strong arm stuff to make him get just that kind of normal value, right? Because he doesn't have survivability and that kind of... And I love William Tell, dude. I think he's so cool. I think his voice actor is awesome. I love a lot of his animations. I think he's fucking badass, dude. I am so ready for a William Tell meta, right? Like, I'll be so happy about that. I'm not gonna complain if William Tell becomes like a staple low star, like how Jufu's getting in there and stuff. But yeah, he's still very situational. He is really good in his... If we have an evade spammy Berserker or Saber and maybe Assassin, it's gonna be nice, right? He's absolutely good for that. But yeah, it is definitely a rare thing. Chat, one time he said the fated words in a DM to me, and he held a gun in my face and told me not to tell the police, but you did tell the police. That's the thing, you did tell the police. Okay, who's next? Oh yeah, I gotta be careful. Canis is next though. Fine, I can talk about Canis, guys. Okay. Wait a minute. Right, I have to summon a Qin Gong. That's the thing here. Okay, Zaw bailing me out. Good man. Man, Medusa just had to die, didn't she? Oh wow, was it seriously like a Switzerland holiday? I didn't even know. Because I know he's tied to, you know, Switzerland. I know that. I just didn't know there was anything going on over there. I had no idea. I wonder if that was on purpose. Could be a coincidence, you never know. Wait a minute. I'm really scared to watch a clip from Say Stan. I'm so scared to watch a clip. I feel like this is going to be some kind of trap. And Carps, thank you for the 30 months. Okay, just because Say Stan is a cool guy, we will potentially spring the trap. Trust? Okay, what do we... Hold on. Okay, it's that Danny guy stream. He was a cool guy. I was talking to him a bit the other day. Seems like a nice fellow. How bad can this be? This was clipped by Say Stan, though. So I'm a little worried. Alright, what's going on here?
Give me some Hanako, greed, or give me death, right? Yeah, sure, that's what I'm saying.
What? What the fuck is the context here? I'm confused. What triggered this? I feel like this is Say's fault.
This is Summer Hanako, bro.
What the fuck? Nope. 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 You're all banned. You're all banned. Is this like some anime or some shit that just happens to have the same name, or are they messing the name up? I don't even know. I know it's very similar to a name that's an actual Japanese name, but it's not the same. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? That's your VTuber model? Shut the hell up. My VTuber model would be a green floating smiley face, thank you. Anaka or some shit. So it's very similar. Well, unfortunately, chat, I have to kill all of you so that the word doesn't get out. You know, it is what it is, chat. Jesus Christ. I like how just Say, you know, saved that for, and he obviously, cause like, I'm sure in that guy's chat, no one, you know, noticed anything, but then Say Stan brings it over here. Anyway, I told Reddit already, well, I have to kill all of them too, so nothing lost there. Obviously, chat, I'm joking, you know, we don't need TOS in here. This is a really bad opening hand. Fuck. I don't really know about this one. Because now we're not gonna get our NP even with our battery skill. That's not good. You know, chat, I really do want to play some other games. It's just coincidentally, I actually wanted to play FGO. Like, these stages were fun enough that I've actually wanted to play around with them. And I wanted to talk about FGO and like do the buffs and stuff. Like I'm not, you know, forcing this at all. I just want to play FGO, even though the game is a shit show. But we will get around to some other stuff. It's just you know, see the buffs, that kind of thing. I'm just gonna reset. That's dumb. I mean, we only need 10 NP for fuck's sakes. Like, we did that for other people, so. They're saying this anniversary is good. No. Absolutely not. So, funnily enough, you know, a lot more people saw my talk about the anniversary than I thought. I don't even know what happened there. I guess it's just some people spread it around or something, but for some reason, like, the VOD on Twitch and on YouTube just got way more views than normal. Anyway, I found a lot of people have been agreeing with me, which I think, you know, being sane will do that. But I have, oh boy, have I seen some people trying to, like, you know, act like I'm shilling or some shit, or just trying to say I'm not a real Fate fan, and all kinds of dumb crap, and people say I'm like, so one guy was trying to say I'm just like a really angry Ogla fan, right? That was a thing. That was on YouTube, by the way. But yeah, there's been some dumb shit, and like there's been some discords that are there's people on there trying to naysay and whatnot. But you know, from what I've seen, most people actually agree that this anniversary was really fucking stupid in the game, and it's not just the anniversary being bad. Like one bad event's not a big deal. It isn't. You know, no game can do killers all the time. The issue is the game in general has been doing nothing for about 2 years. And then the anniversary is normally when they put in more effort, and they did nothing, right? So the state of the game has already been so yikes, and then they're just not. This was like their chance to do something, and they didn't, and it's like that's kind of inexcusable because it's already been so bad for so long. But yeah, actually, from what I've seen, most people agree with me. But there's plenty of people that are like, oh, the game's great, blah 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 blah. And in some areas it's subjective, right? But I think it's pretty hard to like defend a lot of the UI and stuff like that. I don't see how you can defend that stuff, right? Like you can say, I can deal with it, I can put up with it, that's fine. But acting like the UI actually is good or acceptable, that's just absurd. I just think you have no standards at that point. I can't see how you could possibly say this is the best anniversary. Like I said, they could add the Green Knight with the best design ever, and I would still say this is the worst anniversary. Like, I have enough objectivity in me that I don't get swayed by just subjectively liking a unit that could have been added at any time, right? Like, that just doesn't mean anything. Like, because you could have added Morgan Lily for the event before the anniversary or the event after, and you're going to like her just as much. And if you don't, then what the hell is wrong with you? Right? Like, I don't care when they add the Green Knight. Right? Like, if they do a good job with them, or Butch Cassidy, Henry V, right? The Red Baron, a lot of stuff that I want to see. It doesn't really matter to me if it's the anniversary or like an event or main story, just like whatever. Like, if anything, I'd prefer it be main story and they have like a, cool role in the story and stuff. That's like the ideal thing. I still don't think I can get my NP. This is so dumb because she needs 9 NP. But I guess she only has 1 art card, so. If I put the Merlin command code on a different card, that would give her 2 cards that would work. That would actually be better. I gotta be honest, from where I sit, I have my own biases. And oh wow, that actually was enough. That was exactly enough. But where I sit, not all, of course not. None of these things, these are generalizations, there's always exceptions and things like that. But I find most prominent whales. Now, there's a lot of whales like Lost, right? Or Beastly Whale, that they're not going around trying to show off their e-penis on Twitter, right? But you never hear about them, right? They just, play the game and, they wail sometimes because they just, hey, I like this character, right? Just shit like that. That's actually probably more whales than not. But most vocal whales that you're going to see the opinion of, their barometers I find to be very skewed because they're more worried about, like, status symbols and that kind of stuff and getting the clicks and getting the first YouTube video out of the new unit. And showing that they've already got, NP5 in the passives and all that. And almost always the vocal whales, that's what they care about, right? So to be frank, I don't trust their opinion on anything. Now, sure, some individual whale might have a good head on their, shoulders, and they may well have a very good opinion and very experienced and understand game design and all kinds of stuff. But I just find most, not all, but I find most vocal, very, very important that I make that distinction, but I find most vocal whales are just so caught up on like teenager high school bullshit and like status symbol nonsense that I don't think they have a very good barometer of like what's actually healthy for like a game development and for an overall player base. Because I think the way the game's been handled for a long time has been unhealthy for the player base, and I think it shows because a lot of the good players have left. Right? I don't think the player base is in a good state because of the way the game's been run for a long time. I should have cast this last turn. The only way I shouldn't have cast that last turn is if I kill every single one of these, which is possible because Canis is a brawler, I'll put it that way. Now, I could split damage, and that would almost guarantee that I kill all of them. If I do like Buster, NP Buster, I'm NP5, unupgraded, I think I do Buster, NP, Art. Kind of meet in the middle here. Well, that's damage. So, you know what's funny? Detji with William Tell. I used him on the Lobo stage, and then I realized that his buff does nothing there because the boss always has evade. So the lingering, you know, evade trap isn't needed. So I've actually not done anything relevant with William Tell since the buff because he would have worked just as well without the buff. And it, like, what could I possibly do with William Tell, right? Like, because what you do against Lobo would work anyway, right? So it's like, what am I supposed to do? I have to find some boss that evades a lot, but then it's not gonna just evade at low HP where I could break it anyway. And then it's like a class that's a play. Like, he needs such a specific set of circumstances, right? So you need story replay. I'm not even sure what you'd pick, but there's probably something out there. Yeah, I from what I've seen for most of the whales, now to be fair, I haven't gone around finding every whale's opinion, but most of what I've seen from whales, you know, they just focus on, like, you know, yay, free SQ, rolls, Gacha, oh my god, look what I got in my rolls, surprise face in the thumbnail, right? You know, that kind of stuff. And, you know, if that's what they enjoy doing, that's not a crime. They're not hurting anybody, but it's like, that's not the person I want the opinion of for the state of the game, right? I don't think they need to go to jail. I don't think they're hurting anybody, right? You know, if they're having fun just, you know, doing their thing, that, you know, good for them. But that's just not a good barometer, in my opinion, for, like, good game design. And it's just most whales that are, like, in it for the clout, I just, you know, they see it, how can I use this game to get clout, not is this game any good? And that's a very common mindset of young adults and teenagers and stuff. And, you know, I'm not gonna say you can't, you know, do things that way. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but I don't value that very much. You know, I think that's kind of silly, but, you know, if you know, who cares what I think? But the casual whales I've talked to, or not even casual whales, just the whales that aren't in it, you know, for clout and stuff, people like Lost here, they're not really happy with stuff. And I've talked to quite a few, like, under the radar whales like that don't like the way the game's been run for a while. Wow, we did that much damage? Shit. Now, I'll break with BB. Like, that's crazy. I'll have double NP up, double crit up. That, if I do BB, that's gonna kill. Fuck it, I'm doing it. I don't know. We might break without, because she'll still hit really hard with Rainbow Chain. But damn. This is not a 120 either. But I'm always happy to hear people's opinions. Like, if you're not an asshole, or you're not trying to, like, be a snide jackass, if you ever want to send me your opinion about the game, you know, just send me a DM. I always enjoy seeing that kind of stuff. Fuck. Man, if I had done the Mystic Code buff, we would have done it. Damn, dude. Let's see here. She's not gonna NP here. She'll NP next turn. There's no point in doing these skills here. I guess I quick. So I get a lot of NP gain and star gen. But I can't always promise I'll respond, right? Because I get a lot of DMs a lot of the time. But by all means, you know, send me, if you want to send me opinions, and just don't be an asshole, and we got no problems. Oh fuck, I really should have made sure I had guts here. Thankfully we didn't get insta-death. People with guts though have, like, the best RNG here. In a way, not breaking is better. Although weirdly enough, she didn't she didn't do the thing. Huh. I don't actually know why she didn't do the thing before the NP. So she normally gets rid of the damage resist there. Huh. Now I can do the second skill to get the attack down to, like, ensure I don't die. But I'm thinking we're not gonna die anyway. We get the stars per turn. I don't need the... Fuck it. We're doing it. We'll do... we'll do that. So far, there's been no RNG in this run where I could, like, lose. That's been good. I could have made it better, though, with the guts, but I kind of just messed it up a bit. It's because I casted a turn late. There, I don't know what happened with the... I don't know what was up with that. Nah, we super fucking win. Wow, though, look how much value we got, because we still have guts. And we'd probably have guts go off this turn, though, because we only got 1 damage cut left. But we're going to overkill by quite a bit here. Like, these normal attacks are going to do so much. That was not close, by the way. There was really no way for her to fail. Actually, Canis might have been the best one out of all of them. Oh, I don't know. When I played Ku improperly, Ku was worse than this. But when I played Ku properly, he was probably still better. Because there was no way he was going to get insta-death because of the guts timing was perfect. And he had like 4 or 5 turns of value left over. But Canis is very close, and it's just really smooth because this actually is exactly why Canis can be really, really good. Is because this stage is a mixture of AoE and single target, and it's perfect for her. And this has popped up more than you would think, right? Like the Moriarty Phantom Thief challenge quest was a mix of single target and AoE. For most players, if they don't have a really stacked account, the Maze Event challenge quest was like that because you weren't going to AoE burn down the 2 higher HP bosses that easily. So having some single target in there was really good. But you still wanted AoE, right? And I can think of several. There's been plenty of challenge quests and farming, right? They do these 3-1-1s and 2-1-3 and all this crap, right? They do those kind of farming stages now, and those have like this mixture of single target and AoE. And she really excels in this stuff. I mean, I've tested her a lot over time, and it's no meme like how like sturdy she is for that style of content. And it's nice. It's nice. You don't have a lot of units that are actually like that. And yeah, it's really, really good. Like, she was better than Ku for like the Maze Event challenge quest and for you know, the Moriarty Phantom Thief challenge quest, and there's been a few others like that. Yeah, she's a really fun unit. I really have grown to like her gameplay. It's actually pretty unique and fun. I just wish her animations were better. Like, I like her quick attacks, and like her art attack is good as well. It's mainly her busters. Her busters are, you just want so much more meat. Right? And it's just so boring that, like, this is what gets me. Her buster long range attack is just like a leap in. It's like a day 1 leap in buster attack where she just jumps in the air and slams down. That's it. That's all it does. It's a 3 hit count, and that's all it does. Meanwhile, Lancelot, who's also a 4-star, right? They're both 4 stars. He does an old school leap in, jump in the air, slam down, but he's also a 3 hit count, and then he hits him 2 more times. Right? So you get like that, tear him up, slash, bang, bang kind of thing. Right, that's what I want out of Canis, and that's what you get out of her quick attack, where she like, stomps him and smacks him and stuff, right? But just a lot of her buster attacks are just not very interesting, and then her NP could be better. So I really wish she got an animation update, even though she's a lot newer. Yeah, her first buster is definitely the worst. Her first buster just kind of sucks. Yeah, and she's got that really rare buster animation she almost never does. That one's all right. But still, it's only 1 big hit, right? She does like this giant arc swing thing. I much prefer Lancelot, and I think some of it is because they're too lazy. Because it's easier to make swords do like combos. Doing like multi-attacks with lances, like because of the spacing, it's harder to do it. And I've noticed they don't do it very often. I've noticed like lancers don't do like cool multi-swing slash spins, poke stuff. Because it just takes a lot more effort. And I think that's why Canis's attacks are like that. It's just like they couldn't be bothered. With like Lancelot, they can do the multi-attack stuff without it being too big of a deal. But yeah, it kind of sucks because I like Lancers a lot, and I don't think their animations really shine very often. They do very boring stuff with Lancers. Like Ku's a good example. Ku in like the visual novel and stuff is described as like having like this beast-like agility, like moving really crazy-like, and doing a very big emphasis on these like multi-strike, incredibly swift like strikes, right? Like when he's fighting Emiya, they're saying like he's like striking and poking so quickly that you know, any one of these pokes would take Emiya's head off, right? And they're like, it's like really spammy and, you know, really fast, right? You don't get anything like that in the game. Yeah, the thing is though, she's not really a lancer, right? She's a lancer in class, but she's got 2 swords on her arms, right? Like it's not, she doesn't have like the same kind of issues with the animations that like the people that actually have a spear have. Like same for like Romulus, you know, he doesn't have a spear like that. Most of the characters that are actually holding a spear, they don't really do anything with their animations. Like they'll attack the enemy, like, because same for Scath. I mean, Scath just spins her fucking spear and it just does all the hits and stuff, right? It's really boring. They really don't do cool stuff with lances. And it's because it's just harder. And it's same in real life, by the way. Doing fight choreography in a movie is way harder with spears and lances and swords. They're just a lot more complicated to deal with. And like the spacing is a lot harder. And it requires more body movement. And that requires more animation, right? If you're gonna like actually, you know, use the spear and, you know, you have to use a lot more of your body, right? It looks really awkward if you're just like trying to swing a spear around like a sword, right? It doesn't really work that way. And I didn't really think about this until today. But this is actually really obvious. A lot of their lance users, they come up with really stupid reasons to not be very athletic. I'll put it that way. Baldy's probably one of their better ones. It's still not perfect, but Baldy is probably one of their better ones. That's one of the only ones I can think of. And even then, they're not doing anything that crazy. But they normally find reasons to not be very athletic with their lancers. A lot of the stuff they do have Oberyn doing is like way too fancy and like over the top. It's not really realistic. And that's fine. If you want to be fantasy, that's fine. But if you're trying to be more realistic, like if you watch like some really practical like spear masters out there, it's very different than what you're ever going to see out of fantasy and stuff. But it's awesome. I actually really recommend like if you check out some like axe masters in real life and spear masters in real life, you'll see like styles of combat you've probably never seen in anime or games or movies ever. Like movies, like big blockbusters and stuff, when they have like an axe wielder in a fantasy movie, they don't do it right at all. I mean, they're not even trying. Like generally, if you watch someone that really understands how to use an axe properly, you're just going to see techniques and stuff that most casual people have never seen ever, and it's awesome. Like watching spear masters and axe masters is fucking awesome. It is so unique and interesting. I love axes to death. They're just this awesome mix of brutality and finesse that is just like nothing else is like that. And they have some really cool trickster stuff you can do, like with disarming people. That's just so unique. I love axes so much, dude. And they're never represented properly in games, anime, movies, and anything. Literally, never. But it really is a cool thing to look up. Check out some people that really know what they're doing with those things. You know, I actually haven't seen Morgan Lily's animations. I'm gonna be honest. I saw her in P animation on that Danny guy's stream, and it like crashed the shit out of his game. But I haven't actually seen her animations. I'll probably do that next time though, because it is 12 o'clock. It's 12:30 actually, because I streamed so late today. But I had a lot of fun, guys. We'll try to maybe have some games where we can have a more casual conversations, I think. But check DMs. Wait, hold on. What do we got here? Shut up, good. Green hated chat because they told him the truth. God damn it. Where did you make this? You did a good job with the green face. Let me put this on stream here. By the way, chat, you did not tell the truth, and you all know it. You guys are so full of shit. Karna got lucky. Karna's not bad, I'll admit that. And I legitimately was impressed with him soloing Lobo, right? I was legitimately impressed by that. But that doesn't mean he's a god tier solo unit, okay? That's not a thing. But you did a good job with this. Did you just like MS Paint that? Like what was the how did this come about? Because that was pretty good. See, this would have been really good in someone's account review. This would have been so good to save for an account review. But I appreciate that. It's still wrong though. Okay, chat. I'm out of here. I'm exhausted, but you know, it was fun. These stages have been fun to fuck around with. We'll fuck around a bit more. I'll probably make a Dagon video. And at some point, I need to take a break from streaming, though, to make some fucking YouTube videos that have, like, a lot more effort put into them. But it's been hard, and things will be a little wonky for a while. Like, I'm doing a lot of stuff in real life right now. Probably for, like, the next month or two, right? It'll be a little while. But in the long run, it's going to free me up, and it's going to be a very good investment for my future, so I got to do it. But, yeah, it might be a little random for a bit. But thank you, guys. You're the best. Let's see who we can raid here. Fuck, I forgot to follow that Danny guy. I should have done that so I could tell if he was streaming. He is! Well, there we go. We'll just raid him again. And then maybe next time we'll raid Toho or something, and, you know, there's always Cairo. Cairo is my boy. It's just he doesn't actually stream at this time of night. Alright, go get him, lads. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow, but at some point I'm going to take a break to, like I said, do some YouTube stuff, but, I can do that whenever. All right, boys, I'm out of here.